Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And the Knicks, well, you've seen it, ladies and gentlemen. They dominated the Atlanta Hawks. And they had what they have? The best scoring night since 1980? December 20th, 1980, something like that. In 39 years, they've had their best scoring night. Big shout out to the Knicks for that one, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into this right away. There's a lot of good things to talk about tonight. Let's rock. That's the jig. And ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks played a very good game tonight. At home versus the Atlanta Hawks, trying to start another winning streak as Huter knocks down the first three of the game for the Atlanta Hawks. Frank Ntilikina turns around and says, that's okay, because I could do the same thing. Frank Ntilikina knocks down his only points of the game. He had 3 points on the night. Marcus Morris, he takes it in. Gets the hoop and the harm, as Marcus Morris can do. He had 22 points on the night. 4 rebounds as well. Trae Young, Trae Young, he didn't get that one to go, but Trae Young did his thing tonight. We'll talk about Trae Young a little bit more as Frank Ntilikina gets it forward to Julius Randle. Julius Randle finds Marcus Morris for another 3. He knocks it down. Knicks up 9-5. The Knicks took an early lead. They really never gave it back, ladies and gentlemen. That was about it. As you see, Trae Young knocks down the mid-range jump shot, and he was looking for a foul. This guy is good at creating fouls. Trae Young, one more time in the lane with the floater. This guy runs off a screen after screen after screen. You got to be ready to defend this guy. RJ Barrett, he goes to the lane, gets his own rebound off of the block or whatever it was and puts it back in. RJ Barrett had a good night. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Julius Randle with Vince Carter on him. He takes it in, lays it up. Julius Randle played a good game tonight. RJ Barrett, he gets a steal, coast to coast. Lays it in. Like I said, RJ Barrett, the young man, played ball tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He had 27 points, 10 for 13 from the field. And that man right there, he was lighting it up all night long. Trae Young, you see him come off another screen into the paint, knocks down a little bit of a floater. He's mastered that floater, ladies and gentlemen. He kills that floater. Trae Young, once again, with Julius Randle on him, he finds Vince Carter. Vince Carter was playing his last game at Madison Square Garden. He heard cheers from the Garden crowd as Marcus Morris knocks down the fadeaway jump shot. The Knicks lead 25-22. Trae Young, this man always has the ball in his hands. Again, he gets to the cup. He lays it in. Not too many people can stop this guy. Marcus Morris with the pull-up 3. Bang, he knocks it down, 34-27. This is about the time when the Knicks start to run away with the lead, ladies and gentlemen. See, Dennis Smith Jr., he made a resurgence tonight. He got in the lane, knocked down a little fadeaway jump shot. Glad to see Dennis Smith Jr. back in the fold. Hopefully he stays. Kevin Knox with the air ball with Mitchell Robinson. He had himself a game tonight. He gets the rebound and puts it back in. The Knicks up by 18, 45-27. As a matter of fact, the Knicks scored the most points they've scored all season in the first quarter. They had 41 points in the first quarter. On their way to scoring 77 points in the half, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the Knicks scored 77 points in the first half of the game. As you see, Cam Reddish come down and lay one in. Another Duke guy in the game. Damian Dotson from Bobby Portis. Damian Dotson goes to the cup. He lays it in. The Knicks are up 51-29. And the Knicks, listen, the Knicks weren't giving this back, ladies and gentlemen. That's all to it. They weren't giving it back. You see Kevin Huter, he comes up the floor, passes the ball to Jabari Parker. Jabari Parker over to, guess who? Trae Young. Right? Like I said, Trae Young, he had 42 points on the night, Trae Young did. He was doing his thing all night long. The kid was pretty much unstoppable. As you see, Kevin Knox comes down the floor with the man-child dunk. Like to see more of that from Kevin Knox. Again, Trae Young in the lane finds Jabari Parker, who dunks it home. The Hawks, they try to make a little bit of a run here. Vince Carter, old man Vince Carter, knocks down the triple, 60-45. Again, in the lane, the Atlanta Hawks, they're trying to stay in the game. They're trying to make a run. That's DeAndre Hunter. I like DeAndre Hunter. Julius Randle finds a cutting R.J. Barrett, another rookie. Julius Randle says, I see you. He puts the goggles on. We want to see more of that from Julius Randle. Julius Randle goes to the basket, spins and lays that one in. 64-47. The Knicks are up 17. Marcus Morris finds R.J. Barrett for the jump shot for the 3-ball to make it 67-47. The Knicks up 20 with 3 minutes left in the first half. Julius Randle, he comes down. He finds, guess who? R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett pulls it up. He misses, but Julius Randle gets the offensive rebound and puts it back in. Julius Randle had 17 points on the night. He also had 11 rebounds. Trae Young in the lane, knocks it down once more. Again, Trae Young, ladies and gentlemen, had 42 points on the night. He also had 8 assists. You see R.J. Barrett with the spin move, goes to the cup, puts it behind the back, pulls up the mid-range jump shot and knocks it down. Again, R.J. Barrett had 27 points on the night, and the Knicks have 73 points here in the first half. Mitchell Robinson with the big steal in the dunk. Mitchell Robinson had 22 points and 13 rebounds on the night. And then Julius Randle, off the screen, kicks it over to Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. gets in the lane. He pulls it up. He knocks it in. The Knicks had 77 points at the half, ladies and gentlemen, the beginning of the third quarter. And, you know, at this point, you're wondering, as you see Julius Randle knock down the fadeaway jump shot with a double team on him, not highly recommended, but he hit it. It's that kind of night for the Knicks. But you start to wonder, and you hoped, will the Knicks keep this lead? Will the Knicks keep the lead? Because we've seen them had a 20, 22-point lead on Golden State and let Golden State back. Right? Another bad team was Golden State. They played another bad team in the Atlanta Hawks. This time they wouldn't give up the lead as Trae Young knocks down another threes. The Knicks are up 30. He cuts the lead to 27. Marcus Morris, he gets in the lane, pulls up a mid-range jump shot, knocks it down. The Knicks shot 55.8% from the field tonight. They shot 46.4% from three. As you see, R.J. Barrett knocked down another three-point shot. 91-61, the Knicks are up 30. They weren't giving this lead back. There's no way it was going to happen. Kevin Huerter goes to the basket. He lays it home. But it didn't matter much. And then in the third quarter, man, the game kind of got out of hand. The Knicks were just doing anything that they wanted. As you see, Marcus Morris knocked down the three. Everything was falling for the Knicks, and you love to see nights like this. You just wish that nights like this would happen more often for the New York Knicks. You see R.J. Barrett get into the lane. He lays it home. The Knicks up 96-65. DeAndre Hunter goes in. He knocks down a little mid-range floater jump shot thing right there. R.J. Barrett, one more time, up the floor. Looking, he finds Juju. Juju brings it home again. Julius Randle had 17 points. Played a nice, efficient game tonight, did Julius Randle. Only one turnover, too. Vince Carter, bam, he knocks down three. In Vince Carter's final game at Madison Square Garden, he had 15 points. It was 4 for 7 from the three-point line. Of course, the Garden crowd gave him a nice ovation when he left out in the fourth quarter. Elfrid Payton finds Mitchell Robinson. The Knicks had 72 points in the paint, ladies and gentlemen. 72 points in the paint the Knicks had. Because in that fourth quarter, it was excess garbage time anyway. But it became pretty bad as the Hawks kind of stopped playing defense and the Knicks just took advantage of them. And for once, the Knicks took advantage of them. Kevin Knox, he came on and started playing in that second half. We've seen Kevin Knox play tonight with a little bit of ferociousness. He had a couple of lapses on defense in the first half. So you see Kevin Knox go to the basket and get the dunk off the cut. Those are the type of plays you want to see. You want to see guys cut into the basket and get easy shots from being cut to the basket or pull up jump shots like Bobby Portis just knocked down the three off a ball movement. The Knicks had good ball movement tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Trae Young knocks down another three. The Knicks had very good ball movement. As a matter of fact, the Knicks had 30 assists on the night. 30 assists. That has to be. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and check. As you see, Kevin Knox find Mitchell Robinson for the alley-oop dunk. The Knicks scored 143 points, ladies and gentlemen. The most points that they've scored in 39 years. 39 years, ladies and gentlemen. That's the most points that the Knicks scored. And listen, it was nice to see. It felt very, very good for the Knicks to finally get a wire-to-wire victory. Wire-to-wire victory. Because it doesn't happen very often. So when it does happen, we got to celebrate it, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks got and not just a wire-to-wire victory, but a blowout victory. A blowout victory. We got some guys building up in the video chat, but before we get to that, I just want to take a look at some of the other stats of the game. All right, let's take a look at some of the stats of the game. Then we'll get a chance to talk about it. You can see the Knicks won 143 to 120. The Knicks had 72 points in the paint. 72. That's good numbers right there. Good numbers, because the Hawks, they're a team that they'll let you score in the paint. They score in the paint a lot too because of Trae Young. Because Trae Young gets into the paint relentlessly off of the 1 million screens that he gets on every single possession. That kid gets a lot of screens, man. You got to fight over a lot of screens. That's the reason why you're seeing Dennis Smith Jr., Elfrid Payton, Frank Ntilikina kind of split time tonight. Frank Ntilikina played 17 minutes and 58 seconds. Elfrid Payton played 20 minutes. Dennis Smith Jr. played 12 minutes and 47 seconds. Right? That helps to, help to keep those guys fresh. Now, what would have happened if it was a tight game? Who knows? But it helps to keep those guys fresh when you're fighting over so many screens, because Trae Young, he runs off of 2, 3, 4 screens on one possession. Anyway, the Knicks had 72 points in the paint. The biggest lead by the Hawks was 3. The biggest lead by the Knicks was 31. The game was tied 5 times. Lead changed once. Once the Knicks got the lead, they never gave it back. Looking at the stats of the game, the Knicks dominated on the boards. They had 55 rebounds tonight. The Hawks only had 36. The Knicks had 30 assists, ladies and gentlemen. 30 assists. We love to see that. We love to see that. Somebody do me a favor. Calculate how many assists we're averaging as a team under Coach Mike Miller. So far, we're 3-3 under Coach Mike Miller. How many assists are we averaging? Somebody do the math for me. Got 7 steals tonight, 6 blocks, 11 turnovers. We shot 55.8% from the field tonight, 46.4% from 3, and 77.4% from the free throw line. Like I said, the Knicks had 72 points in the paint, 17 fast break second chance points, and 10 fast break points. The Hawks had 52 points in the paint, 10 second chance points, and 12 fast break points. The Hawks didn't, they shot okay from the field. They shot okay from the three-point line, but it just wasn't enough. They scored 120 points themselves. But the Knicks scored 143. I mean, that should do a lot for the Knicks' offensive rating, because our offensive rating is last in the league. That should do a lot to help us out, hopefully. Breakdown of the starters and the bench. Of course, we always need the Knicks bench to come through. But the Knicks bench came through tonight. The Knicks bench had 72 points. The starters had 71. What you do notice, and something that I talked about in the game preview, if you never got a chance to check out the game previews, make sure you do it. I usually do them during the day. I'll be doing the game preview tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Because the Knicks take on the Miami Heat on Friday. All right, so I'll be doing a game. Well, probably not tomorrow. I'll probably do a game preview on Thursday. I'm sorry. Thursday at 2 o'clock. I'll be doing a game preview because the Knicks take on the Atlanta Hawks on Friday. But anyway, the Knicks bench had 72 points and the starters had 71. I talked about it in the game preview that the Knicks bench needs to score. They need to come through. And not only that, but the Knicks need to keep a starter in at all times with the bench, unless you get into garbage time like you did tonight. But for the most part, when the game was in the balance, there was a starter on the floor. All right, the Knicks bench had 28 rebounds. The starters had 27. I mean, they basically played even. The bench had 19 assists. They had 6 steals, 5 blocks, 6 turnovers only. The bench shot 53.8% from the field. They shot 38.9% from 3. The Knicks bench played. Now, a lot of that is because it was garbage time, so they got a chance to play. All right, the fantasy players of the game tonight, ladies and gentlemen, of course, for the Atlanta Hawks, it's Trae Young. And for the Knicks, it's Mitchell Robinson. All right, Mitchell Robinson, 22 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 1 turnover. Trae Young, 42 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 0 blocks, 0 steals, and only 3 turnovers. These are your players of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Players of the game. You want to checking out the rest of the box scores? Well, we'll check out the rest of the box scores. You see, I got some guys in the chat. City for Real is about to join us in just a second. And we're going to start talking to these guys in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. And then I'm going to get to you. You see City for Real got his hat lit up, doing his thing up in there. Big shout out to my man City for Real. I know he's feeling good. I know Guillermo should be feeling good. You never know with Guillermo, though. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes Guillermo's feeling good. He might feel good, but, he's still, I don't want to take away from the win, but, we're going to get one of those tonight. So just expect it, ladies and gentlemen. That's just Guillermo. So it's all good. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? You know what Guillermo's going to do, but it's all good. All right, but it's all good. I want to before I get to you guys, I'm going to go ahead and break down the box score for everybody, right? Then after we break down the box scores, we can go ahead and get to you guys. All right, so I can make sure I get everybody in there. As you see for the Hawks, DeAndre Hunter had 19 points. He also had 5 rebounds. Jabari Parker had 10 points, 5 rebounds. Damian Jones, 2 points. Kevin Huerter had 14 points. He also had 5 assists. Trae Young had 42 points and 8 assists. Vince Carter had 15 points. Cam Reddish had 9 points. Alex Len had 9 points. All right, Alan Crabb had no points. DeAndre Bembry had no points. Bruno Fernando had no points. Evan Turner did not play. For the Knicks, Marcus Morris had 22 points. He also had 4 rebounds and 2 assists. Julius Randle had 17 points and 11 rebounds, 2 assists. Only 1 turnover for Julius Randle tonight. Taj Gibson had 2 points. Also had 3 rebounds. R.J. Barrett led the team in scoring. He had 27 points, 6 rebounds. Frank Ntilikina, 3 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Alfred Payton had 5 points, 9 assists for Alfred Payton. Mitchell Robinson, 22 points and 13 rebounds. Bobby Portis, 11 points. Dennis Smith Jr. had 8 points, 5 assists. Damian Dotson had 9 points. And Kevin Knox, he had 17 points tonight. Just a little breakdown of the box score, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks with a big win over the Atlanta Hawks, 143-120. Good win for the Knicks. Let's get to the guys in the chat, man. See what these guys thinking about. Guillermo, coming to you first, man. What's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Yeah, I was trying to get the damn splits for the last 6 games, but
in a minute you'll be.
I don't know how to freaking work this stupid thing on ESPN, but yeah, man. I was happy with tonight's game, man. I'm not people like, oh, you gotta go. Why are you hating? It's like, no, I'm not hating. I'm very happy. I like what I'm seeing from Mike Miller. I like the defense. I like when we were up by like 20-something. The game got down to we were up by like 14. Mike Miller called a timeout to kind of settle us. I like the fact that Trae Young, as dynamic as he is, every screen Frank fought over. And they gave him some pity pat calls, those stupid little get around the screen and jump into the defender, which I still think is absolute garbage.
I can't stand those calls, man. I can't stand some of those calls.
If I'm not impeding, if I'm not trying to impede your progress, or if I'm not truly fouling you, you gotta, even if it's for your stupid little stars, whatever, you can't be calling that, man. It slows the game down. It's terrible. But look, I like what I saw tonight from the guys. When it got away, obviously, some guys started hitting shots and stuff. But I like the defense. I like the ball being moved around. Payton did an excellent job with the dribble drive. Still something Frank needs to learn how to do a lot better. Even though Frank had that 3 and whatnot, but when you see Alfred Payton, is just even though he picks up his dribble, he needs to stop doing that. That's a major thing that Walt Clyde Frazier points out. But he when he penetrates, he creates, is a new tree of options. Now a defense has to kind of honor that, and I think that that's a big thing from Payne. I'm not saying Payne is a point guard of the future, but this offense looks a lot better. Now I will say Randle again. I'm not going to complain too much. Obviously, we won, but no. But honestly, because look,
Go ahead, man.
I've been a Knicks fan, guys. I've been a Knicks fan since '93, '94. I've seen the highest of highs. I've seen the lowest of lows. So I know what winning looks like. I know. I'm not saying none of you guys do. Obviously, you guys have probably watched just as many of these games as me. If you guys are younger, you've watched a lot of games as well. A lot of games NBA. What I'm saying is that look, this is nice, but we cannot be the same chat that when Mike Miller goes on a 7-game losing streak, we're calling for his head without us analyzing every possible facet as to why there's a 7-game losing streak. Because we do this all the time. We're all over the place. We're just this emotional girlfriend, like It's like, dude, calm down. I like what I saw tonight. I'm very happy with what I saw tonight. It was very impressive. But let's put things in perspective. There are things that we still have to work on. Julius Randle, and I'm gonna say this: when he's not in the game, Sim, when you have Payne and a big man, especially Payne and Mitch, and now Mitch has also come down his fouls as well. That offense looks a lot more fluid. Sim, look, go back to the early parts of the game where Randle's trying to over dribble again, trying to beat his man, and then there's a guy open on the perimeter. Versus when he's not in, that ball's moving around like a hot potato. It's moving around to the open guy. So that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to
I don't have any complaints about
guys,
Randle's game tonight. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have any complaints about Randle's game tonight.
No, that's perfectly fine. But what I'm saying,
I have no complaints about his game tonight.
They made a comment tonight that I think it was Vince Carter told Randle that Randle needs to trust Mike Miller, so which I think is excellent.
No. They made a comment that Fizdale told
I'm sorry, my bad.
To trust Mike Miller.
Because Carter's talking to everybody, so I'm confused with like an idiot. But that was really nice by Fizdale, a guy who's being fired. He probably realized, look, I was a crap coach, but let me give these guys some parting words. And I thought that was really impressive. And that's really important because Randle, again, is a guy who's with this big contract. He's probably coming in and trying to think has to play hero ball, and you don't. You can be a great cog on a team. You could be a leader on a team by not being the high usage guy. Look at Draymond Green. So, I think that stuff he has to take to heart, man. But again, I'm not going to complain too much.
I think a lot of that was, I'm telling you the truth, I think a lot of that was Fizdale that was trying to force him to be a high usage guy. I mean, tonight he shot 15. He took 15 shots. That was still the most on the team, but he made 7 of them. He was 7 for 15. Right? It's not a lot of shots.
I'm not saying it's overly. Okay. I'm not even complaining about his overall game.
He had his 11 rebounds. He had a couple of good assists to R.J. Barrett, the guy that some people think that them two are going to clash heads. A couple of his assists was to R.J. Barrett. As a matter of fact, both of his assists were to R.J. Barrett. I have no problems with the way that he played tonight at all.
I do, because look, Sim, you guys are just looking at pure numbers. It's not.
I'm not just looking at pure numbers. I'm watching. I'm not just looking at pure numbers. I watched him get the ball out of his hand.
Yeah, but you're mentioning
plenty of times when he did not have a shot. Plenty of times get the ball out of his hands when he didn't have a shot.
Sim, tonight, and again.
I'm talking about tonight. I watched him get the ball out of his hands when he didn't have a shot.
I have to finish my sentence, Sim. In the early parts of the game, Sim, thank God that we killed this team, right? So you didn't even need Randle, right? Per se. There were times in the game where Randle still held the ball. And I'm saying that this offense, even take the Hawks out the equation, right? The Hawks suck, right? If this was a better team, right? And Randle was in for more minutes or used more during the game, right? I could still see in the offense being bogged down. And and I said it again, I have no problem. When Randle gets the ball in the post, like they did tonight, right? The first play, I think the first offensive play tonight for him, they did the triangle thing. They pass him in the post. Everybody clears out. Have no problem with that. But then there are times when he literally holds the ball. Like early on tonight, he's holding the ball. It's like, dude, get rid of it to the perimeter. Even you see the double team coming. You don't have the shot. You don't have the angle. Get rid of it. No need to try to reset and do. But I'm not even harping on him. I didn't have a problem with this game so much. I'm just saying little things.
I'm just saying.
When the ball moves around a lot more. This Knicks team is not. We scored 140 something tonight. Obviously, is more an outlier, right? But what I'm saying, look what Mike Miller has done in just 6 games in terms of how we look more fluid on offense. All I'm saying is that if Randle can kind of still cut down on that, I don't even mind if he takes 20 shots as long as they're 20 solid shots. That's all I want. I want Randle to score.
I think that he took. I'm just saying. I think he took solid shots tonight. You look at you look. I look at the
fine.
first quarter. I'm gonna look at the first quarter. Right, the Knicks were up 41-27. Marcus Morris took 5 shots. Julius Randle took 5 shots. R.J. Barrett took 3 shots. Elfrid Payton took 4 shots. Right, to me that sounds like, that the ball is moving around. Other people are taking shots.
But see, Sim, you're also breaking down just shots. What about the times where he's passing the ball too late, or he sees things too late because he's trying to do too much? It's not just shots.
But see, I don't think he did that tonight. I feel like he got the ball out of his hands. He took the shots when he was on the way to the basket or when he was open.
It's not like the Denver game in the fourth quarter I'm not saying it's that bad. I'm not even trying to kill Randle. All I'm just saying is that with him on this team, he's the only guy. I mean, Morris does it at times too. But Morris more so can score and shoot. So and he's, I guess, our main scorer, whatever you want to call it. So I don't mind it. But Randle, I'm just saying, I'm not even trying to complain too much of Randle. I'm just saying
you are, because everything you're saying, you are.
But you know what it is, Sim, is like people. This is a problem with Knicks fans, right? There's no nuance. Everything is happy, happy, joy, joy, or I hate you, kill, kill. I hate. There's nuance to everything. When I'm saying that Randle, there's things to Randle's game, I'm not harping on Randle saying, "Oh, this guy, he's had a terrible game. He held us." I'm like, no, we won by 30. But
what I'm saying is tonight he didn't do that. He does that. I get it, but he didn't do that tonight.
When your daughter has a game, right, and she has a blowout win, do you sit there and she did things wrong that she's continually doing? No matter if the team won by 50, you're still gonna sit down with your daughter and say, "Hey, look, you had a good game. The team won, I'm happy, blah, blah, but there's still some things you need to work on because you want her to be even better."
But what I'm saying to you is that I did not see him do that tonight. I seen him get the ball out of his hands tonight. Get the ball out of his hands and move it. Maybe it's not as fast as you want him to do it, but he still got the ball out of his hands. He didn't take a whole bunch of shots over 5 people. He moved the ball out of his hands.
You know what separates us from some of the top teams? And it's not necessarily just, obviously, yes, you could say talent. But what separates us from, like, say, the Raptors is that when there's the whole idea of getting the ball quickly to perimeter, right? There's no second guessing. It's almost like automatic moving the ball around, right? And yes, Randle has gotten better since Fizdale left. I'm not taking that away from Mike Miller's doing a better job. But Randle still holds the ball when he doesn't have to. Some of these other top teams, they have a bunch of nobodies.
I just don't think he did it tonight. I don't think he did it tonight. I think tonight he played a pretty good basketball game, and I don't have much to complain about with the way that he played tonight. I don't have much to complain about with the way that anyone, if I complained about anything, is that it's the threes that he's taking when he's not a three-point shooter. Right? If I complain about anything, for me, it's the threes that he's taking, right, when he's not a three-point shooter. He took 1 3. He took 1 3 in the first quarter. I don't think he took any in the second quarter. I'm not sure how many he took in the second half. I'd have to look at it. I don't know. I thought he played a decent game tonight without holding the ball too long.
Although
City for real. I'm coming to you, City for real. My man City, what's going on?
What? He didn't have as many turnovers as he's been having in the previous games. So you can't, you know what I mean?
Hey, City, what's popping, man?
Hawks. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Sim?
What's good? Go ahead, man. Finish saying what you were saying.
Hey, Sim, I just want to say this, right? We played a good game tonight, right? And regardless of what people want to say about Julius Randle's play, he's stepped it up. He hasn't been turning the ball over as much as he used to. He hasn't been playing with his back to the basket as much as he used to. He's been playing downhill. Now, did he take a couple of bad three-point shots? Yeah, whatever. Did we play the Hawks, which is one of the worst defensive teams in the league? Yeah, but guess what? We're one of the worst defensive league teams in the league too. And guess what? With all of that being said, we fought back many of times in all of the games that we played, even being the worst defensive team in the league, or one of the worst. I can't say the worst, one of the worst. But with that being said, that means what? It doesn't matter if you're playing the worst defensive team in the league, because guess what? We were one of them, and we fought back in many of games. We played a good game tonight. We did something that I've been asking the team to do, and that's get up on top, sustain a lead, and keep it. Now, although we didn't win every quarter because we only lost the fourth quarter by 2 points, but I ain't even going to harp on that because we played a good game. And that's what we need to respect as being Knicks fans. Like, we can't say, oh, well, this guy is doing this too much, doing that too much. No, we played a good game. You can't single out a couple of plays and try to fault it as in we played a bad game. You know what I'm saying, Sim? Like, we played a good game tonight.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I don't think he was trying to single out and say that we played a bad game.
Tim, we actually blew a team out tonight. And I don't care if it's the Hawks, because you know what? When other teams come and play us and they blow us out, they don't care if we the Knicks. Their fans are saying what?
Sure
we blew them out.
And I don't think he was trying to say that we played a bad game. I just, I just don't think that Randle did those things tonight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, every game that you play, there's going to be times when somebody holds the ball too long or something like that. That's going to happen in every single game. I have no complaints about the way that he played tonight. Besides maybe a couple of bad three-pointers. I think he was 0 for 2. You know what I'm saying? I think he was 0 for 2 from the three-point line. And I do want to respond to someone in the chat.
That's okay, because he's not really our best three-point shooter, or he's not really the guy. I mean, he took a couple of threes. It's okay. It wasn't the threes that he took. We didn't lose the game, so it wasn't like he took threes that were like, oh, if he wouldn't have took that three, we would have won the game. Like, no, like, you know what I'm saying? He took a couple of three. 1 3, I would say, wasn't in the flow. But then the other one, I could say it was kind of like in the flow or whatever. But That's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, we still won. Let's go.
Now, I do want to respond to somebody in the YouTube chat. Vincent, let me see what his name is. Vincent Van Dro. You said, Sim does not like to be wrong. It's not about if I was right or wrong. Him and I were having a discussion. We were having a debate. That's what you do in a debate. He thinks he's right. I think I'm right. That's what a debate is. You know what I'm saying? And we were having a discussion in a debate about it. So, I'm going to argue my side. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to argue my side. Regardless of the way it is, the Knicks played a very good game tonight. Had to be the best game of the season. Again, they shot 55.8% from the field, 46.4% from the three-point line. They made free throws tonight. 77.4%, but that's good. That's okay. They made 24 of 31 free throws tonight. Knicks had to play their best game of the season. We'll see if they can continue. They play a much better team on Friday versus the Miami Heat. So we'll see if the Knicks are able to continue playing good basketball. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to my man, Poppy Entertainment.
How you doing?
Poppy, what's good, brother? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. Very happy that we got that win.
Yeah, man. I feel you. I'm happy with it too, man. We got to win. So break down how you feel about the game tonight.
Well, I feel that first game that I feel that we played really, really as a team the way that we're supposed to play, like passing the ball around, moving the ball, moving players. The defense is always, I feel like we've been consistent with our defense lately after Mike Miller came back. But when it comes to our team, I just feel like a lot of people are saying start painting and move this over here. I feel like we should just keep it the way it is. Keep riding the chemistry that we have. The team are playing with a really good chemistry right now. Some people are asking for trades, like trade Morris and this. I'm like, look, let's give at least the team we have a shot until February. See what they can do. See how many wins we could build before the trade deadline. That's all I ask from our players. Like, let's see what they can do until February. After the Miami game, I think we play like the Bucks, and then it's like bottom teams of the league. Like there's like 6-7 games that we could win there. And I was trying to argue with somebody in the chat that we're literally only 5 games away from the 8th seed because the East sucks. So it's kind of like, let's give these guys a shot until February. But the question I have for you, Sim, is how many wins do you think Mike Miller has to win this year in order for the Knicks to keep him as the head coach?
Oh man, that's a really, really, really good question too. I don't even have. I don't know. I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to come down to wins or if it's going to come down just straight up team improvement.
I
You know
feel
what
like
I'm
it should
saying?
come down to win. I don't care if the team improves if we don't win. Like, I prefer win.
You
Like,
know,
I
that's
feel like if
a
we
really
get
good
close
question.
to 30, we should try to keep them.
Say that again.
I feel like if we get close to 30 wins, we should try to keep them.
Okay.
You know?
You know, if let me see, we are 7-22, right? With 15 games below 500 to get to 30 wins. We've got to win 23 more games. I mean, is it doable? It may be doable.
It's
You know,
like we're 500, right?
say that again.
We have to go 500 for the end of into the end of the season, right?
I haven't really looked at it, but I'm gonna take your word for it. Maybe so. You know,
it's
maybe
close
we have
to that because we have 27 games, and if it's 80, that means there's 50 more games left. So we win.
Yep.
We gotta win.
Yeah, so about
games.
that, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like, we got a shot to actually see if this coach is good. But like, if we do a trade before February, it's just gonna mess the chemistry up. Even though we could get something better or something worse, it's still gonna mess up the chemistry that we've already been building for the last 5-6 games.
I mean, what if it's a slam dunk type of trade, man, where, you know, you really get somebody
if it's a
back?
superstar, then of course, go for it, you know. But if it's like just to, like, for an example, the Clippers trade to get a first-round pick and Mo Harkless, I don't want that. Like, if you're telling me we're trading for Devin Booker or, you know, the only one, I'm going to be honest with you, and I know everybody here is going to kill me. The only one I like is Chris Paul. And this is the reason why, because everybody says they don't want that contract, right? But if we could get a first-round pick back from OKC, have them attach Nerlens Noel to get that backup center position for now, the only reason I like that trade, Sim, is that it's going to make all of our young guys and other players better. But what most people forget is that in 2021, where everybody's a free agent, he's an expiring contract that will be easier to get rid of. Like, we could get rid of him his last year because we could give a pick to get rid of him if you really want to.
Well, I mean, that's true. You could do something like that. That's true.
Like, play him these next 2 years. Imagine him playing with Randle, making Randle a better player. He would definitely make Mitchell Robinson a better offensive player. Yeah, those alley-oops, being a leader with RJ Barrett, you know, showing Frank Ntilikina how to be a better point guard. Like, he could do so much in this team. Like, look how he has OKC playing, and he's not even the main. Guy.
He could do a lot. He could do some of those things. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I think he could do some of those things.
If I'm the only reason we don't trade for him, right? But we could trade for him in 2021 because he's going to be an expiring deal, so we could get rid of him. Well, it's not that easy as
it's not that easy, right? It's not that easy. But here's something here's another thing though, and this is a question I want to ask the chat. I'm gonna ask you. I want to ask the chat, right? If we continue to play good, let's say we continue to be a 500 team.
Okay, let's say we get in the next 10 games, we win 7. Let's say.
Okay. Does that save Steve Mills and Scott Perry's job?
You know what's funny? That people were saying that earlier, and that's why I said, let's wait until February. You know, if they're doing really decent, that means honestly it wasn't their fault. Because I don't blame Mills and Perry so much because everybody they signed was for a 1-year deal. They did the smart thing. They missed in free agency, and they did the smart thing. They signed Randle for 2 years, left flexibility for 2021, and everybody else is here on a 1-year deal with a team option. If they do good, we keep them. They don't do good, we get rid of them. Simple as that. Like, what more? Like, think about it this way. After the big guys got signed somewhere else, who else was a free agent that we could have brung in that would have helped the team?
Well, I would have liked to see him go after D'Angelo Russell at that point. But, I mean, that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Honestly, bringing in players, what they did over the summer, I have no problem with it. I never did, and I'm not going to change now that we had a bad season, and there's been a lot of Knicks fans that did that.
The only
that
mistake
were
I think
excited
we
about
did-
the team, and then all of a sudden, when we were playing bad, we're talking about we had misfits and da 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 da. Right? Honestly,
Correct.
I liked what they did in the offseason, the way that they pivoted.
That's what I'm
Right?
saying.
I'm not changing it. I'm not changing the way I feel about it now, but I don't like the way that they did business this year. As far as the way that they handled Coach Fizdale. Now, I'm not defending Coach Fizdale, but I do not like the way that they handled Coach Fizdale and the way that they did his hold on for a minute. And the way that they did that press conference, I thought that they undermined him that way. I thought that was a bad move. And then when they fired Coach Fizdale, just some of the things I didn't like the way that they did business. I didn't think that it was above water. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they were a little bit underhanded with Fizdale. I don't know. I can't say because I wasn't there, obviously, but I thought it was a little bit underhanded with Fizdale. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he didn't deserve to be let go. I think he did deserve to be let go. I was on his case. I definitely felt he deserved to be let go. I just don't like the way that they handled some things. But a lot of people are calling for their heads. Right? A lot of people are calling for their heads. But if Mike Miller is able to get these guys to play 500 ball or better for the remainder of this season, then does he prove those guys right? And they keep their jobs. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, Poppy, I'm going to just answer me that real quick, and then I'm going to go to Mark.
Well, honestly, like I said, Steve Mills, they did what they had to do. The only mistake I feel like they did was sign Bobby Portis. Instead of Bobby Portis, they should have got like somebody to back up Mitch as a rim protector. And that was the only mistake. And I feel like once they got Marcus Morris later, they will probably try to go for that backup center, but they saw Morris in an opportunity and they just got Morris. So I just feel like they could make up for it. Hopefully they could just trade Portis and Ellington for a backup center, make the team a little bit better.
Okay. All right. Mark, I'm coming to you, Mark. Somebody let Mark, I'm coming to him real quick. I do want to respond to somebody that in the chat. Marvin Smith, you said there is no way there is no proper way when you're firing someone. You know what? I kind of agree with you too. When you're firing someone, it's going to be awkward, right? It's going to be awkward altogether, but and it's hard. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. It puts everybody in kind of a bad situation, But I thought there were some things that they could have did. They just could have been a little bit more on the up and up. I felt, you know what I mean? They didn't put a statement out until a couple of days after. I don't know if it was due to logistics or whatever it was. I just, would have liked to see it done a little bit better, a little bit tighter, I guess. I don't know. But as far as, the players that they brought in, I'm not mad about it. I wasn't then, I'm not now. Did I expect that they were going to be a playoff team? I thought that they would be somewhere between 30 and 35 wins. Do I think that down? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not changing my stance. Not changing my stance. All right, Mark, I'm coming to you, man. I'm coming to you. All right, Mark. So here's my question.
Go ahead.
You probably heard it already. But if Mike Miller keeps these guys playing, say, around 500 for the remainder of the season, Scott Perry and Steve Mills, do they keep their jobs?
Damn. No, because there's a lot of rambling that people in the organization wants Mills off the thing. So I don't think Mills is going to keep his job. So as long as Mills don't keep his job, I don't think he's going to keep his job regardless of if Mike Miller does good with the Knicks. I don't think so, because it's people in the organization that want him gone. And again, after the embarrassment that they did, and after Ramona Shelburne put out that article He already went to his deathbed on that one. That Ramon article just ruined everything. Like, it was all in detail.
But here's it. I mean, let's put it like this with the Ramona Shelburne article. Her information is based on sources. James Dolan, Steve Mills, and all of them, they know the truth. Whatever that truth is, they know the truth. So James Dolan.
I'm gonna tell you why that makes sense. I'm gonna tell you why that makes sense. Just off the David Griffin.
Hold up. I'm not arguing for or against the article. All I'm saying is, when it comes to James Dolan making the decision, that article is not gonna weigh 2 cents into it, because that article is based on sources that she has, where James Dolan has whatever the truth is, he has it. Do you understand do you get what I'm saying? Why is James Dolan going to base anything on an outside article when he has the truth in his hands? He could care less about that article. He has the truth. Whatever that truth is, he has it. So that article is not going to come into play.
So my thing is, that article is in play because he basically, if you read that article, how you knew it was real, because David Griffin would have had the job if Steve Mills didn't sign the $72 million deal to Hardaway. And that's when David Griffin said, I'm out. Because David Griffin was going to get the job. And then the same time he's going to get the job, what did Steve Mills do? Sign Hardaway for $72 million.
Bro,
so
I know what was in the article. I know what's in the article. I'm not arguing for or against the article. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. Steve Mills is not going to
keep his job.
But what I'm saying is, that's not what I'm saying at all about the article.
I understand.
I'm saying James Dolan could care less about the article because he has the truth. He has the truth. He knows what Steve Mills did. He knows what Steve Mills did not do. He knows what Scott Perry did. He knows what Scott Perry did not do. He has all that information already.
Perry was Steve Mills' minion, meaning that was his hire, so he could look over what Steve Mills does, what Scott Perry does. You know, like what Steve Mills did, he created his own little cult. That's what he did. So he could have control of everything to keep his job. Him doing what he did to Fizz was to keep his job. Everything that Steve Mills did.
Again, like I said, that's Ramona Shelburne and her sources. James Dolan he was there firsthand. So what she says is one thing. What James Dolan knows because he was there is another thing.
Okay, so my question is, what do you think that James Dolan know that is different from this story?
I don't know. That's the reason why she has sources, right? She has sources.
What other scenario could you think of?
I'm not thinking of any scenario because that's not my point right now. My point is, my point is not if that article was right.
Period.
My point
I don't think Steve Mills gonna keep his job.
Okay, all right.
Steve Mills burned down this organization enough.
If he's able to keep the Knicks playing around 500, or maybe just a little under 500, right? Maybe it's not even 500. Maybe it's a little under 500. Does that prove Scott Perry and Steve Mills right about the roster?
No.
It doesn't?
No, not to me. No.
So so how does it prove?
Because Sim,
how does it prove it wrong?
You hired Fizdale to do the job for 4 years, but then you bring in 9 new players and do a 10-game increment like your team that been winning 50 games for seasons and seasons and seasons. Then you fire him. You go on the podium while he was in the locker room, and you put him in a situation where he couldn't coach from that night. I said it that night he needed to be fired. Not the day after, that same night that they did that, because they had no right of doing that. You can't give a coach 9 new guys and expect us to win at a rate that they thought. Steve Mills thought we should have been a winning team. That's what they thought.
I don't think they thought that. I don't think that's what they thought. See, this is the one thing that I get about with Knicks fans and the media. And it kills me. It really, really bothers me. It really does bother me because we hear all this stuff that the media puts out there, but we ignore what the Knicks actually say. And we follow everything that's out there from all these other sources. You know, sources come from this, sources come from that. You know what I'm saying? We pay attention to all of that and we forget about whatever the Knicks actually say. Right? Never once did we hear from the Knicks' mouth that they thought the Knicks, that they were going to be a winning team. We thought, they said that they would be a more competitive team. They expected them to be a more competitive team. When they were asked about the playoffs, they didn't even let the word come out of their mouths. They didn't even let the word come out of their mouths. So that's what I don't get, right? The media people say, oh, that Steve Mills and Scott Perry expected them to be a playoff team, or if the media even said that. Right, but that never came out of Scott Perry, Steve Mills' mouths. Not that I heard. You know what I'm saying? Not that I heard. I never heard it come out of their mouths. This is all the media stuff. You know, so I don't think that they expected. My question is, if Mike Miller can win or win, at what we all expected with this team, where Fizdale couldn't, because either way, where Fizdale couldn't, does it prove that they were right about the roster? Not that the roster is a championship roster, that they were right that this roster could be competitive and not get blown out every night like they started to do. Before they had the whole media thing, Coach Scott Perry and Steve Mills, they were getting blown out every night. Not every single night. They started the season, they were competitive, then they started getting blown out. And they weren't competitive. Now, I didn't agree with the way that they did the interview. I didn't think that was right. You know what I'm saying? I thought that they could have handled everything internally. Everything internally, I thought that they could have handled it. But they didn't. So I didn't think that was right. But I didn't think that Coach Fizdale was doing a good job either. So that's why I'm going to get to some people from the phone, get to a couple of phone calls. I want to find out from you all, if Mike Miller can continue to have these guys competing the way that they're competing and win at a higher clip, does it prove Scott Perry and Steve Mills right? Does it prove them right? And do you think they still lose their jobs at the end of this season? At the end of the season. That's what I want to know. Competitive equals winning. Competitive doesn't always equal winning. Being competitive doesn't always equal winning. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to a call. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, man, what's going on? I'm a first-time caller.
What's going on with you, bro?
Oh, not much, man. I'm listening to the cast after watching the game. I just wanted to give a little bit of optimism and my thought about the game tonight, and actually being out here in North Dakota. I'm originally from Flushing, Queens.
Oh, wow, North Dakota.
Tell me about it. So as far as like media and everything like that, to watch Knicks games, I actually stream through a specific website. So I get the telecast from different teams. And so it's like tonight, I had the telecast from the actual Atlanta Hawks. And the announcers that were the color commentators from tonight's game were like highly impressed with the Knicks. And I was actually surprised to hear a different team's color commentators, suggesting like, hey, the Knicks are actually, having a good flow of basketball. They're playing team basketball. It's all controlled. You should have heard them talking about Mitchell Robinson and Kevin Knox, especially R.J. Barrett, and just how much more controlled the team has been since like Mike Miller has taken over. I've noticed that throughout the last 3 games, all the color commentators have been actually expressing good things about the Knicks and how he's running the team and how the team's much more controlled. Everybody has their own roles. it looked like team basketball instead of shots being forced. Everybody's kind of filled into their roles, actually making the team look better, that nature. So I don't know. I just wanted to give that little tidbit of information, and then also I just want to give it up to Vince Carter. I mean, 42 years old, still playing at a high level in the NBA. So I mean, even the Knicks crowd was giving it up to Vince Carter tonight. I mean, how you can not give it up to a guy like Vince Carter?
Yeah,
you know
definitely.
what I mean? So I just wanted to put that little tidbit of information in everybody's ears that, you know, Mike Miller is giving everybody a different look on the Knicks, other than just Knicks fans and, you know, the media, the big media out there like ESPN.
Yeah.
And
Nah, I agree
like that,
with
you
you.
know what I mean?
And do you think that if Mike Miller is able to keep these guys being competitive and you know, winning at a higher clip, does Mike Miller himself save Steve Mills and Scott Perry's job?
I don't think so. As far as GM and the front office, I don't think so. I think he's going to secure his role as the head coach. But as far as picking up assets and things of that nature that has to go with the front office, I don't think their jobs are as secure as, you know, anything. So I don't think so, but I would like to see a different front office up there working with Mike Miller to make the team better product on the floor. That's me personally, but the powers that be, it's all about money. It's all about the NBA's business. So I always look at it that point of view. It's a business, yeah. And so they have to make the necessary adjustments for the business of the Knicks and the fans and the garden and everything like that. So, and it's all about the media ratings too. So,
oh, definitely. Always. That's always part of it. Always part of it, man.
Yep. So,
hey, I appreciate
if you take out the money
man.
out of it, yeah, they're going to be passionate about the Knicks, and they may keep them. But as far as the money side of it, probably not. It's not benefiting the Knicks to keep those two in the front office from the business side of the NBA.
Okay. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate the call.
Hey, thank
South
you for having
Dakota,
me on, bro.
man. Is it nice out there?
Hell no, it's like 20 below.
I mean, just nice being there.
Oh yeah, it's a good spot. I mean, it's a rural country, you know, and good place to raise kids and stuff like that. Yeah, but right. It ain't New York. It ain't the city. So
yeah, I hear you. Hey, I appreciate your call, man.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, it's a question, ladies and gentlemen. I know everybody has their opinions about Scott Perry and Steve Mills and that they need to go. You know, 12, you're right. Perry has also kept our cap flexible. You gotta admit that. At least since Scott Perry's been here. Not Steve Mills. Steve Mills has been through all kinds of crazy, bad regimes. But at least since Scott Perry's been here, he's helped to keep the salary cap clean. Right? We got pretty much we got a clean salary cap right now, which is the reason why we can talk about so many trade scenarios and things that we could or should do. Scott Perry's helped to keep that clean. Obviously, you had the trade for Kristaps Porzingis. Some people like it, some people don't like it, but we do have some draft picks from it, for whatever that's worth. So we do have draft picks, and we've kept all of our draft picks. We have not traded any draft picks away. If a new general manager, president and general manager does come in, they would have done no work to obtain the cap flexibility that they will have coming in. If you understand what I just said, I probably confused you. Right? If Masai Ujiri comes in, he's going to come in and inherit a clean cap. Or whoever comes in, they're going to inherit a very clean cap in a situation where players are tradable, players can be moved, a situation where you can absorb contracts and do different things, and you'll have draft picks. You have all of your draft picks and extra draft picks. So they would have inherited a good situation financially, that's due to Scott Perry and Steve Mills. Maybe more Scott Perry than Steve Mills. I don't know. But they would have inherited a good situation financially. Okay? Just saying. So they did do that. They've done a good job there.
Financially.
Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Peace to the chat, Sim. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. For your question, first things first, your question.
Okay.
About Scott Mills and Perry keeping their job. Perry, I think Perry should keep his job, or he should, whatever, move up or whatever. Steve Mills, he should have been gone. He should have been gone when they fired.
Phil Jackson, Isaiah Thomas.
No, not Isaiah Thomas. The last general manager we had. He used to coach the Chicago Bulls and the Lakers.
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson. He should have been going when Phil Jackson left. He should have fired the both of them, got rid of both of them. That's one. That's one thing that I feel.
All right.
We played a very good game tonight. My only problem is that I know that players have to be accountable for them, but the only way that players are going to get better is by being on the floor. They can't get better by sitting on the bench and just playing a couple of hours in practice. They have to be on the floor in order to get better. We've been preaching, the youth. Let's get our young core together. You know what I'm saying? Let's get our young core together. If we get our young core together, we can become a dynasty. We can get like how Chicago did it back in the days, how Golden State did it for the last few years. We can be like that, but we gotta get our young core together. By sitting the young core down, we're not moving forward. We at a standstill. By letting all these vets get in, we know they could play because they've been playing for these last 9 years, 7 years, and all of that. We know they could play 10 years. We need to let the young core be on the floor and let them play. They learn to play together, Sim. We could be a big dynasty. We can be where we want to be. Where we've been looking for us to get back to. By sitting them down and not having them play, we're gonna be in a standstill. By letting these players that we only got 1 and 2 year deals with, we taking away from our youth.
Okay. No, I get you. I understand. I think the philosophy behind it, and I'm not going to disagree with you. I just think the philosophy behind it is that if you get some guys that can come in and help the team to be more competitive, then these guys, you get these young guys playing in more competitive situations instead of always in bad games and stuff like that. I think that's the hope, and and it help. I think the idea was to make them have to fight for their positions. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what's going to happen. But, I mean, I agree with you. It's got to be a mixture. Guys got to watch and they got to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got to watch and they got to play. So.
Definitely.
Yeah. Hey, my man, I appreciate your call, bro. Appreciate the call.
Anytime. Okay. Talk to you later, sir.
All right, later. Peace.
Peace.
And then here's another question, because I've seen a lot of people, saying in the chat that it proves that Mike Miller can coach, that, if Mike Miller does that, he should keep his job, but then you move on and you get another, a new front office, right? Another executive in there or whatever. But here's the thing. I can guarantee you this. And it's a sticky situation, because let's just say, for example, Mike Miller coaches this team to be 500. Right? And caller, give me just 1 second. I'm going to get to you. All right? Just listen in.
All right.
Let's just say that Coach Mike Miller gets this team to play 500 basketball for the rest of the season. Let's just speak hypothetically right now. But then James Dolan turns around and he says, I don't like the job that Scott Perry and Steve Mills did. I'm firing you. And you bring in another general manager, another president and general manager, however he decides to go about doing it. That president and general manager, they're going to want to bring in their own coach. So it's likely if that happens, Mike Miller's going to be fired anyway. So it seems to me that, of course, Mike Miller's coaching for his job. You know, he wants to be, I'm pretty sure he wants to be the head coach of the Knicks moving forward. Who wouldn't? Right? But he too probably understands that if a new executive comes in, they're going to want to bring in their own coach. Now, will he get a chance? Yeah, he probably will get a chance. He'll probably get a chance, but they're going to be looking at him like the same way when Scott Perry and Steve Mills took over as the president and general manager. They looked at Jeff Hornacek and they gave him to the end of the season, but they had an idea that they didn't want him to be the coach going forward, in my opinion. Right? They knew. And that's where, that puts Mike Miller in such a sticky situation. Really puts him in a sticky situation. Because if he does very well and Scott Perry and Steve Mills still get fired, a new executive might come in and say, yeah, but you did great. You did a good job. I'll pat you on the back. But I want this guy to be my coach. It happens that way. That's how it happens when you get a new executive come in. So it's that's a sticky situation for Mike Miller. You know what I mean? Tough situation for him. Caller, you're on live, man. What's poppin'?
So it's Aunt G. It's Aunt G, son.
What's up, Aunt? I'm chilling, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I think like if we were to go 500 the rest of the year, that'd put us at what? A little over 30 wins, like 30, 31 wins.
Let me see. So right now we're what? What's our record right now? 7-21,
7-21.
7-21. So that's 29 games. We play 82 games in the season. That leaves us with what? 52 games left?
Yeah, that's 20 around like 25 wins.
So if
wins.
we have 52 games, that puts us around 26 wins. Right? So that means we would be 33 and whatever. 33 and 49 or something like that.
If that would have happened and Mills and Perry got fired, and listen, I'm by no means the Mills and Perry fan, or even though I do like Scott Perry, but I'm not the biggest fan of Mills. But if we were to win 33 games and they got fired, they would be a victim of our expectations being completely out of whack. If we won 33 games, to me that would indicate that Fizdale was clearly the problem. That's a 16-game improvement over the previous year. If they were to get fired at that point, it is a victim of our expectations and a victim of the media pressure. Because to me, that would be a successful season depending on which expectations were. I mean, a lot of us were predicting on the high end like 30, 35 wins. So if they won 33, I don't see how any of us will look at that season and call it a disappointment unless we were just completely over expecting on what this team could accomplish this year.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if they did that with Fizdale and we didn't start off as bad, right? The whole narrative would be different. If we just won 33 games and we played okay all season, we never won any big losing streaks, then would they still get fired? I mean, if Dolan wants to fire them for hiring Fizdale, I guess. But to win 33 games, I think that clearly proves that Fizdale was the problem.
And see that's what I kind of think. And I seen a question by Chris Ward earlier in the YouTube chat asking me, would I fire Steve Mills and Scott Perry? And I think I would right now. I'd be giving them until the end of the season, see what happens with Mike Miller, so I can evaluate the roster. And what was it Fizdale or was it just bad roster construction? you know, and look at, you know, well, what would your plan be going forward, you know, to continue to build this roster? I think you have to look at that. You know what I'm saying? Because if he's able to get these guys
Mills
to
has had,
go ahead.
Mills has had time. So if Mills were to get fired, I mean, he's been with the organization for how many years? But I don't know if Perry has deserved to get fired. I mean, what did Perry promise when he came? He promised us that he was going to draft well and keep cap flexibility. He's done exactly what he promised to do. I don't think Perry deserves to get fired. We're going to have to pay Perry anyway. So if we believe he could be an asset, let him be an asset. Don't pay him to sit home. You know what I mean? So if Perry's going to be on the payroll, even if you do bring in a president, I'm sure we could find something for Perry to do that's going to be valuable to the organization. I don't see the point of firing Perry 2 summers in. You know, when he has drafted well. I mean, he got Mitchell Robinson. That's a gem. Kevin Knox is a young guy. He still has a lot of potential. We all love the R.J. Barrett pick. People were championing Alonzo Trier all of last year. So, I mean, I just think it's interesting how narratives can change so fast. And now all of a sudden Perry is fireable all of a sudden. When he's done exactly what he said he was going to do. And I think he deserves more time.
Listen, I agree with you. I agree with you. My only thing, and I'm just thinking as James Dolan, I'm not thinking about Perry. Well, let me not say I'm thinking as James Dolan. I'm thinking as the new the new president coming in, let's say. Right? So let's say James Dolan fires Steve Mills, moves him to another area or whatever he does. If the new president coming in, am I going to look at Scott Perry as the new Steve Mills? You understand what I mean when I say the new Steve Mills? Mm-hmm. The guy that James Dolan is like, okay, now you're my eyes and ears. Steve Mills ain't no more. You're now my eyes and ears. That's where it gets a little shaky for me. Now, I'm not saying that Perry's done a bad job. I think you're exactly right. Perry's done what he said he was going to do, what they wanted to do with managing the cap and those type of things. I agree with you, but he might end up being a casualty.
Right.
He just might end up being a casualty. And I think if he ends up being a casualty, I seen someone say in the chat, if Mike Miller is able to get this team to overachieve for the remainder of the season and he still gets fired, it'd be bad. But when you bring in a new president, it's very likely that they could say, I have the guys that I want to bring in. That happens all the time.
Which is how it normally works.
Right. So
the biggest mistake Perry made along with Mills was the Kevin Durant Kyrie thing. Imagine if we said from the jump, we're not interested in free agents this summer. We're just going to keep building through the draft. The narrative would be so different. It'd be different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. We'll see. Well, listen, I'm just hoping that they can continue to compete and play hard. I see people talking about playoffs, right? I'm not even looking at that. I'm just want to take this thing one game at a time. You know what I'm saying? Take it one game at a time and try to win. And I'm not even looking at can they get into that 8th seed right now. Just take it one game at a time and let these guys play and continue to try to keep building. That's all I want to look at. You know what I mean? That's all I want to see.
I'm taking it a quarter at a time. So I'm taking it a quarter at a time.
A quarter at a time, right. And then I see people
quarters, man.
And I see people talking about tanking to try to get the number 1 pick and all this kind of stuff.
Nah.
I don't want to hear that. That's not going to help us, in my opinion. It's not going to help us.
No, it don't work anymore. You can win 30 games and get a top 5 pick. So tanking is, it doesn't really work anymore. So
it's not going to help us. It's not going to help us to develop something for the future, and keep moving forward if we keep having this losers mentality. You know what I mean?
Nah, you're right. I feel you.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff going forward. Let me ask you one last question though. Trades. Would you? My fault. Alwyn Dwart, you said who's talking playoffs? I seen some people say that they think we're gonna make the 8th seed now. Because we went 3 or 4, we won 3 or 4. Some people think we're gonna make the 8th seed now. You know what I mean?
The dude on MSG said it. The black ball-headed dude.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the eighth seed, I'm not even looking at that right now. I just want to win a couple of games. But as far as making moves, because I can tell you right now, you know, one of my big questions about the Knicks is trade season, about the Knicks making any kind of moves, is whether or not James Dolan is going to allow Steve Mills and Scott Perry to make moves, right?
Right.
And right now, I can guarantee you Steve Mills is in his office like, see what I told you? I told you. Right? Do you think he's going to allow them to make moves at the trade deadline? And what moves would you make?
I think he has to allow to make moves, especially if it's asset attaining moves like draft picks, and I don't even think there's a possible way for us to get more cap flexibility. I think we're like flexibility is out, if that's proper English. But like honestly, if we're gonna bring in, like, if I were to be able to see into the future and see that we were gonna keep Mike Miller and finish the season off strong, I want to keep Julius Randle. I would like to see how he improves with Miller going into next year. Marcus Morris, if he can get us a couple draft picks and a first round pick and a young player that's like has a lot of like controllable years left, I'd do it. Because I mean, how much more wins is Marcus Morris really going to get us this year? I mean, so if we can get something where we can get draft picks, another first round pick for this year or next year, I'd do it. I like to move Bobby Portis. I don't think he really fits with the team. I like to see maybe Kenny Wooten come up. Yeah, those are I don't think Dennis Smith Jr. is really tradable right now, but I guess I'll check the market on him. But other than that, with all of the young guys, I just want to keep them. We need some consistency. Just some consistency. I don't want to trade none of the young guys yet. I know I was big on, I was giving up on Frank beginning of the year, but Frank is even showing me a lot. So I don't think there's really – I mean, you know what I would do? I would test the market on Trae. I don't know if he's, fell out of favor within the organization or not. I mean, he hasn't gotten consistent minutes all year. So
I don't know.
You can get a draft pick for Trae, that may be worth it. But other than Marcus Morris and Bobby Portis, maybe we'll see how Bullock plays, these next few months, see if you can get some value on him. But if we're not attaining draft picks, I just say keep it how it's going. Don't trade for no big contracts or, the Chris Paul thing. I was in my feelings the other night talking about the Rose and stuff, but I was tripping. We should just. I was so mad. We were just playing like doo-doo, but we've been playing a little bit better. So I'm willing to let the young guys finish the season out, see how they play, and then if we want to make any moves for some guys that make a little more money, we can wait till the summertime when some of these stars are a little not happy with where they are. Maybe Trae Young is not going to be happy in Atlanta. I think we should wait for guys like that. Don't make no big moves for Chris Paul or, I don't like it. So
all right,
make some small moves. All
right, and I appreciate the call, man. Really good call. At least somebody, talking sensible, man. Somebody talking sensible.
Yeah, I tried, man.
With some perspective or something. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, man. I'll be on.
All right. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a listen to interim head coach Mike Miller. The Knicks just dominated the Hawks. Take a listen to what he had to say about the Knicks' big win versus the Atlanta Hawks. This is head coach Mike Miller.
Is the thing that made you most happy?
It's difficult because there are a lot of positives. I'm really, really happy, for our team and the way they played and the way they're coming together with each day. It's they're doing a great job. But I think maybe one thing is there's a tendency when you get a lead, sometimes you go away from what you're trying to do. And I thought we stayed with it all the way through. So if there was one thing to look at, I would compliment our guys on not playing to game situations, just playing the way that they needed to play and continue working to be a consistent team.
Mike, Mitchell Robinson with the double-double tonight. What have you seen from him over the past few games in terms of his development and particularly trying to stay out of foul trouble?
Well, I think, that part of it has been huge. I think he's been very disciplined. I think he has really a great focus going into these games. He's playing with unbelievable energy and force. So, I mean, he's making so many plays and creating so many things out there. He doesn't get credit for all of the, things. They're not the lead assists, but without his activity, a lot of these plays we wouldn't be able to make. So he's been very, very good.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Thank you. Can you talk about what Peyton has given you since he's been back in the lineup, and what did you see in Dennis tonight?
Well, tonight we talked a little bit before the game is we used all of our point guards and we talked about all of their strengths, and we had a chance to see those things tonight. So, I was very pleased with how they all played. Elfrid, he's doing a great job using the personnel, the discipline again that he showed as a lead ball handler, get us in the right plays when we had to, whatever the stretch was, continued to play and help everybody else. I think he's really helping people around him. Dennis was terrific. The speed that he came in and brought in the end of the first through the second and even into the third, and the plays that he was able to make and the pressure he put on the defense, it was a great lift for us.
Coach, you talked about the team not playing to the situation. You liked what you said there. I think you called a timeout. You guys were up at 25 or something. It was a quick one. Did you see them slip a little bit playing into that situation? Is that why you called the timeout?
Well, you go through that, and I think you still look at runs, and you want to make sure we were off on coverages maybe, that we weren't together, and I just wanted to make sure we were connected. And then offensively, they really started overplaying. I think at a certain point in the third, even early fourth, they were going to try to overplay everything and felt like we needed to really be sharp and try to keep, getting downhill and get behind the defense if they were going to extend it and try to do that. And then we had some good plays in there where, RJ was really good going through there. Kevin had some cuts. We had a lot of actions that were good to try to counter the defense.
You spoke the other day about Kevin's aggressiveness. I mean, what was the key to kind of getting him to play this way, and then how do you get him to do this consistently now going forward?
Well, I think, we still have to look at how young he is and how he's still continuing to mature physically. But, I think a big sign for Kevin tonight is maybe didn't have a great first half, but showed maturity because he came back and had a great second half. So I think, that's growth when you see someone being able to respond from one half to the next and come out and play well.
The Hawks have really struggled over the last month or so. Is there feel like there's any sense of urgency when a team like that comes into MSG trying to get a win over them, kind of with this brutal stretch of schedule you guys have been in?
Well, honestly, I think we have to bring the urgency every night. And then when we establish this is how we play, this is our identity, then we can look at other things. But I think right now we just have to bring that every night and that enthusiasm, and the guys are having fun playing. And that makes things flow together, a lot easier.
When you say identity, what do you want that to be? I mean, you guys scored 143 points tonight. You guys have played faster and more efficient offensively. I mean, is that the identity you want?
Well, we think we have guys that can score. So obviously, we would like to play with a good pace. We would like to play with, a downhill force, for lack of a better term, with our drives, with our cuts, with our rolls, and all those kinds of things. And when we're shooting the ball well on the perimeter and we're playing with that kind of force, we can put some points up. Part of that identity, the defense has to set the table. We're not going to score 140 every night, obviously. And so, I mean, a lot of things go into that, but I think we're playing to that, and the things that you're seeing out there that stand out, those are the things that are important.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I got a caller on the line. Caller, tell me what did you hear that you liked or didn't like from Coach Mike Miller?
Black this time. Shout out to the chat. What's good, sir?
I'm good, man.
I liked a lot of what he said. I like him giving Dennis Smith another opportunity. I think it's only fair. I think it's
smart considering we picked up his option, so we have him for another season. I think it's gonna be interesting how the season plays out. I'm really excited to see what happens if there's gonna be a change in the starting lineup, change in the rotation. I think the competition is gonna go on pretty much all season long, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, this is a great win, a great team win. This probably is the best team game I've witnessed from like any Knicks team, honestly.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, we had 30 assists tonight. I don't know when's the last time we had 30 assists, but we had 30 assists tonight.
Yeah, 30 assists. I mean, everybody played well. Like nobody played bad. Like that's a rarity. So that's one reason why I'm not like overly excited, because you're not gonna really see that type of performance from everyone. Consistently. I'm hoping we can get 5 guys rolling, and then then it's about rotation.
Right.
But yeah, this was a great win, man. Great win. It was. I'm gonna watch it again tonight.
So tell me,
Just
what
to
do you think
analyze it.
with Dennis Smith Jr.? Do you think he didn't play for a couple of games? Now he played tonight. Was it what do I want to say? Was it the same way that Fizdale used to do with Trier, or Damian Dotson last season? He played for a game, play well, and then the next game not play at all. Do you think this is going to be hopefully the beginning of a resurgence for Dennis Smith Jr.? Because it seems to me, I feel like. So what I get from Coach Mike Miller is he seems to be a tactician, right? And he's going to take what you have and help you to excel in what you already do. And from what I hear him saying about Dennis Smith Jr., he wants him to play downhill. He wants the whole team, the entire team, and he just said that in the interview, the entire team to play downhill. And he's going to let Dennis Smith Jr. go ahead and play downhill. And if he starts doing things that he doesn't like, he'll take him out the game and hopefully explain to him, and it seems like he will explain to him, well, this is why I took you out the game. Right? Dennis Smith Jr. tonight, while he did play, he was getting the ball to people that was open. He took the shots that were available to him and got the ball to people that was open. Hopefully, do you think this can be a resurgence for him?
I think he's playing the game, and I think I said this a couple games ago, or talking about how he should just let the game come to him. Same thing with, like we were saying with Frank, where he has to take the open shots. It's the same thing with Dennis Smith. He's gonna have open shots because they don't respect the shot. So as long as you're confident and aggressive in it, not hesitating and showing that confidence, I think that's all you really ask for from him. And then also, and it's not just Mike Miller, because Fizdale said it too, letting these guys play to their strengths. So, and we got 3 different point guards. I think Peyton is kind of like an in between between the two of them. Frank is great defensively, not so much offensively. Dennis Smith is more adept offensively, and Peyton is right down the middle, has the balance. Is aggressive when he needs to be, changes pace and etc. So I think just letting these guys play to their strengths. That's what got them to the league. That's what's going to keep them in the league, and then develop the other things, slowly but surely. But you got to be confident and you got to be aggressive in doing what you got to do.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a minute. Let's listen to Dennis Smith Jr. It's about a minute long. His post game interview. This is Dennis Smith Jr., ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, you provided an early spark for this team. I mean, this team just got off to such a solid start in their first half. And what can you put your finger on that went well and right for this team tonight?
We just moving the ball and at a high level. And the things that we talked about pre-game, we followed it. So at a high level with the game plan discipline.
You mentioned defense, you mentioned moving the ball, but then in particular, for you, how did you get things going? How did you get your teammates going tonight?
Coming in trying to make plays.
Is there a feeling in this game tonight? I mean, just watching you guys play, it seemed like you guys were just hooping out there, kind of relaxed, having fun. Was that the vibe that was happening out there tonight on the floor?
100%. Put up 140. It was like spread across. Everybody got touches and everybody got shots. So we want to try to put that effort out every night.
And that's the thing right there, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to really we need everybody getting their shots. The ball spread out. And look, tonight we had, when you look at the guys who took shots and the number of shots that people took, Julius Randle, he took the most shots. He took 15 shots tonight. The next closest person was maybe 14 or 13, which is really good. But there were several people who took 13 shots, 14 shots. And that's what we've got to have. That's how this team can have success. That's something that Guillermo's been saying for a while. Not just Guillermo, but a lot of people have been saying it for a while. But Guillermo's talked about it a lot. That if we continue to have guys, multiple guys getting shot selections, not just one guy getting 25 shots and everybody else, struggling to find their shots, but multiple guys, the ball moving, and multiple guys getting good shots, we can have a more potent offense. It was one thing from the beginning of the season that the Knicks continue to talk about was that there's, they said they got to focus on the defensive end because they knew they were going to be able to score the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But then it came out and they got the worst offense in the league. A lot of it was because what I felt like Fizdale was trying to force some guys to do some things that maybe they just weren't ready to do. And I feel like Mike Miller's making the game a little bit more simple for those guys. Go ahead, Tony.
I'm a big supporter of Fizdale. But one thing that I absolutely love is no more side to side motion. Like that downhill every play, that's what he wants, and that's what we got to do. Because I am so happy we are not going side to side, and passing the ball as soon as we get past the half court line. It's really advance, push, and I love that.
Nah, definitely. Hey, Tony, I appreciate you, man.
No doubt.
I know you gotta get up early in the morning, so I'm gonna let you go and get some other calls in here before I get back to the video chat.
No doubt, son. Shout out to the chat. Your Blackest Time. Keep doing your thing, son.
Peace. Appreciate you, bro. Peace. And I want to give a big shout out to City for Real. Thank you for the super chat. You said, Sim, General Mills got to go, but at the end of the day, the guys on the floor make or break the decisions. If we win, everybody's job is okay. Good win tonight. Said, let's go. No doubt. I agree with you right there. The guys on the floor always got to get it done. Then Greenhouse, thank you for the super chat. You said, Sim, Allan Houston hired Miller. True. Very true. He hired Miller for the Westchester Knicks. I believe somebody, I forgot who it was, gave the referral to Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson passed it along to Allan Houston. Dotson, Cornette, and soon Iggy are built from there. Westchester is competitive. He is the assistant GM to the Knicks. A reliable contribution to the Garden come from Houston's management. So, Greenhouse, are you advocating for Allan Houston to step up into one of those management positions? I know he was supposedly been being groomed for that job for a while. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't gotten it. He's done a good job with the Westchester Knicks. I don't know. And if that does happen, though, does it continue what I want to say? If that happens, right? Does it continue the same trend? You know what I mean? The same trend that's been going on with James Dolan. If he just promotes Allan Houston, does it continue that same trend? You know, does it actually bring in fresh eyes, you know, to look at the team? Because sometimes if you've been going on one way for 20 years, you might need some fresh eyes and ears to look and say, we got to do something different. You know? Ladies and gentlemen, man, if you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. Subscribe to the channel. Please hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. Also, follow me on Sportscaster, ladies and gentlemen. All right? If you're unfamiliar with Sportscaster, I'm going to put a link in the YouTube chat where you can follow me on Sportscaster. All right, Sportscaster is a site where I am doing an exclusive show beginning January the 6th. All right, it's going to be called Knicks Weekly. Once a week, every Monday, I'll be on, and we'll talk about everything that happened during the week. Called Knicks Weekly. It'll be exclusive to Sportscaster. So I'm putting a link in the YouTube chat. You can follow me on Sportscaster. All right, so make sure you get over there. Just click on that link. Follow me on Sportscaster so you can be notified whenever I'm on Sportscaster. There'll be a couple of shows on Sportscaster, as a matter of fact. All right, so make sure you get to it now. And, you know, big shout out to J.C. Baker for becoming a 90s Knicks member. Also, a big shout out to King Ant G for becoming a 2000s Knicks member. I appreciate you guys for being a member, and it's going to be well worth it, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you. I appreciate you. If you want to become a member, all you got to do is hit that join button at the bottom of your screen. You can check it out right now and see what the perks are. Become a member. You can't hit the join button. I'm going to put the link right here in the chat. Let me get to another phone call. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what's up, Tim?
What's going on with you, brother?
Nothing much, man.
So, what you thinking, man? Talk to me about it.
Nah, I'm thinking I think Mike Miller is 500 in his first 6 games as a coach. That's the best coach we've had since Mike Woodson. I mean, honestly, I just don't. I think we're being a lot. I think we're jumping the gun too much. I mean, we're trying to fire everybody and restart everything. Unless you're getting Masai Ujiri. I mean,
Say that again. Speak up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Unless you're getting Masai Ujiri, if we haven't given Scott Perry and I can't remember his name, but Steve Mills. We haven't given them enough chance. They've only had the job for a year and a half.
Well, Steve Mills been here for decades.
I get it, but Scott Perry has it, and he was the guy who we were talking about bringing in, big name talent. Never Steve Mills, it was Scott Perry and Fizdale supposedly. And I mean, can we honestly say Fizdale might not have been the best coach? Like he might not have been. He doesn't see. I mean, Mike Miller is getting the Knicks scored the most points we've ever scored since I've been alive. And then we scored the most points for 3 quarters than we ever did in 21 years. This guy's getting the potential out of this team. I mean,
he is
27 games.
I don't have anything against Mike Miller. I don't have anything against Mike Miller. You know what I'm saying? I don't have anything against him at all. Anything against Mike Miller, but the fact is, if someone new comes in, they may look to bring in their own coach. That happens all the time.
No, that's understandable. We all know that. But the NBA is wild, and the way money goes. If we add a couple, the Knicks are a perfect team to add, expiring contracts. and to take on money for the end of the season. We have the team built for it. We're built to take on money and acquire talent or assets. If at the end of the season, Mike Miller wins 27 games, but we have our draft pick, our first round. Let's say we do the Clippers deal. We have another first round. We have our second round, and we have Charlotte's second round. Charlotte's not that good of a team. I mean, we could have 4 draft picks in this draft. Trade Marcus Morris, get another, get that fourth. I mean,
Okay.
even if
Nah, I
we pick
get
up,
you. I
we
hear
might
you.
pick up a decent player in a 3-team trade or something, just because we can take on that excess cap,
Right.
on an expiring contract. I mean, we've got so much potential. I would hate to just think we're just going to throw away Perry, unless we're getting Masai Ujiri. It's like I don't want to hear about anybody else but him.
Okay.
I think we
All right.
I think we let ESPN get too crazy on us and get ourselves in a frenzy, because it's like we're in a good place. Like, Fizdale wasn't that good of a coach. That's it.
Well, I do agree with you there. It's a lot of we let the media get us in a frenzy sometimes, and instead of really taking the time to look at the full picture. I'm gonna say this though, with Steve Mills, at least Steve Mills probably needs to move on. He at the very least, you know what I'm saying? He's been presiding over the Knicks. Bad season after bad season after bad season. He's the one constant. At the very least, he needs to be up out of there.
No, absolutely. And the thing about that is, unless you're getting Masai Ujiri, bring up Allan Houston. If Scott Perry keeps us cap flexible, we win 5 or 10 more games we won last year, and we add, who knows? We could have DeMar DeRozan and Nerlens Noel on the team in 2 months. I mean, we could have a team that is a little bit more competitive with a little bit of salary. And unless you get Masai Ujiri, why not bring up Allan Houston? Did all this work. He hired Mike Miller, did all that stuff. Let's not just go out and get some name brand guy and then he comes in, changes the whole team around. Then it's 2024 and we're sitting here going, oh, the Knicks might be something. We just tore the team down for the 15th time in 20 years. Okay, I just want to let's ride this out unless you get the top guy in the game.
Yeah.
All right. I just don't want to hear any of this. Everybody's saying, oh, we should get Mark Jackson. No, Mike Miller's doing a good job. Unless he starts sucking.
I mean, I hear you. I hear you.
It's going to cost us $2 million. We're still paying Phil Jackson. We're still paying Jeff Hornacek. We're still paying, we get Mike Miller in there. He's not going to, you can pay him $2 million a year for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's,
I hear you.
That's Fizdale's 1 year. We're going to pay him next year. Ridiculous. But no, I want to let go. I want to hear everybody else's opinion. So,
all
you
right,
guys
man.
have a good night.
I appreciate the call, bro.
The best
No
show
doubt. Appreciate the call.
on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Yeah. My question though about Allan Houston is, are you repeating the same thing, right? Are you repeating the same thing? And Bombo, I do want to say, I don't have it connected right now to be able to do the dual stream. Maybe I'll be able to do it Friday night, where we can do a dual stream. Obviously it's not always, you don't always get the same conversations, but I can open it up so we can listen in and see what these guys talking about. All right. And so we can hear, what they're talking about since they're having a good conversation. So let's listen in and hear what they're talking about in the stream. Guys, make sure you're clean and you're not cursing or nothing.
Just like him as a person. Yeah, but he's gone. He's gone.
for certain people, man, if you don't have the fire in you, man, like
Yeah, if you don't have the fire, you're not gonna pan out to be the player that people think you are. People told me.
If you're on a 3-on-2 fast break and you lose the ball because the ball's behind you, it's like, what are you thinking about? Like, look, if DSJ
I don't know, bro. Think about Fortnite.
Something, if you're playing through that pain, obviously you shouldn't be playing. That's one
Yeah.
thing, right? Like you have things in your mind, but Knox to me, bro, is like you said, man, you should never question somebody's motor. And like I look at the Patrick Beverly, like Patrick Beverly loves basketball. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm not exactly sure where they are, what they were talking about, or what they're talking about in the chat. Sounds like they're talking about guys and their motor and pushing forward and those type of things. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do a dual stream, but Bombo, if you want to get into the chat, you can go to whereby.com. whereby.com/NBK, and you can get into the chat and you can join them. All right. Listen, there's room for about 8 more people in the chat, in the video chat. So if you want to know what they're talking about and what's going on in the video chat, go to whereby.com/NBK and you can listen in as to what they're saying. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put this link in here and you guys can listen in, ladies and gentlemen. You can just join it. You don't even have to listen in. You can just join it. Whereby.com/NBK. Click on that link. If you have an Android phone, it's going to take you right to it. If you have an iPhone, it may ask you to, it may ask you to download another app. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to another phone call. I'm not exactly sure. So, it sounds like to me like they were talking about, guys not playing with effort, or guys that have to improve and play with a little bit more effort. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to another phone call. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
How you doing? This is William.
What's going on, William? How you feeling?
Good. I was just watching the show and some of the comments that you and some of the guys were saying. I see glad to see the Knicks winning some games now. And I don't know what you think, but I definitely agree with a lot of folks. Mills, I think it's time for him to move on, for him to be out. I think you have to be realistic and develop the young guys and stick with that. What do you think about that?
I think we definitely have to continue to develop the young guys. You know what I mean? Sticking with Mills? You said stick with Mills?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, because I just think, there's over a lapse of time, you have to see if something's going to, or if someone's going to work or not, their mentality, what influence they have throughout the organization, because I know there's a lot of moving parts that go with it. But really, I think it's, just a lot of moves that trying to make quick fixes or going sometimes by what the media, it's kind of like talking about the Knicks. I go back to the Melo trade. I'm glad for Melo now, but I never liked the move, everything the Knicks gave up. I think it was absolutely way too much. It just trickled downhill from there. Just of, hiring all these different coaches, different mentalities, different strategies, and trying to please, I think like a quick fix or what the media says a lot, because they're impatient, because it's New York and all that. But at the same time, we have to be realistic, I think, and develop the young talent, because obviously there is talent there. And if you develop that could always, get you a better player if that comes in the future. But you just can't make moves just to please everyone.
No, I agree with you. You can't make moves to appease everyone, and that's why when you're a president, you got to be able to be strong and stand on your laurels. You know what I mean? We'll see what they're going to do with these guys in the future, but hopefully they do get somebody that's going to be able to really focus and help build the youth while also, but, helping to develop and build the youth. Sometimes it does take, having some guys in there that can help teach them how to win, See what happens, man. Hey, I appreciate. Oh, go ahead.
Absolutely. No, I think whenever like sports or whenever you have someone that could mentor these guys, because you're talking about young guys and they're young men, but mentorship is really, really, you want people that are pretty stable and firm, and they have a healthy mentality. Obviously it's New York, so there's going to be a lot of distractions. I mean, I'm pretty sure in other cities as well, but New York, there's a lot of other things that go with that package. But I think if you get guys that could mentor these young men, and just to stick to the to build them up, to get their confidence going, see what their strong points are, what their weak points are, and just kind of like pick them apart, but at the same time, analyzing their game, their specific game, as a player, and then just being straight up with them. This is what we have to work on. These are your strong points, and just having them have that confidence, in them, because it's really, if they don't believe in themselves, it's going to be very, very tough for them to, be under that pressure and game time and all that, for them to be able to stick or be firm in a game.
Nah, I agree with you 100%, man. I agree with you. I thank you for the call. Yeah, I know I got a few people calling in.
For having me.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Question that I have for you guys, though, and I'm going to ask this next person that's calling in. If the Knicks go ahead, let's say that they do decide to promote Allan Houston, is it the same? Are you keeping the same philosophy instead of bringing in new eyes? Are you keeping the same philosophy, and are you scared about that? I want to give a big shout out to a couple of guys before I get on to this phone call, though. Big shout out to Marty Knicks. Thank you for the super chat. Mike Milk Apples. I thought it said Mike Apples. Milk Apples. Big shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat, brother. John Coleman says, Sim, please stop harping on teaching how to win. None of these vets have won a championship. Bring in the champs. Coaches' jobs is to teach and develop. I disagree with you, John, because are you going to tell me that Vince Carter hasn't helped any of these young guys learn how to be professionals, learn how to win basketball games? He hasn't won a championship. He's been on good teams. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some vets around. You know what I'm saying? Vets help you learn. And it's not just about how to win, but you got to have some vets around to help mentor the young guys. Teach them how to be professionals in the business. Coaches can't always... Every coach hasn't played NBA basketball, right? Every coach hasn't played professional basketball. So sometimes you need some people around to help teach you the business of basketball and how to be a young man growing up in the business of basketball. You know what I'm saying? That's what those vets are for. And young men learning how to operate in the business of basketball leads to or helps guys to win or helps teams to win. How many times do you see guys, players, young players who do not understand how to operate in playing professional basketball and, just to be a professional, and it hurts the teams because of things that they do or things that happen? It's important to have vets around. I'm saying it's important to have mentors. That's just in life in general. In life in general, it's important to have mentors. In whatever field that you're in, maybe it's just a life mentor or whatever field that you're in, it's important to have a mentor out there that can help you get through some tough times if you need to, or just help you navigate something that is new. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just winning, but having some vets to help you navigate. I mean, you think of Marcus Morris. I get it what you're saying with Julius Randle, right? Julius Randle hasn't been on a winning team, I don't think. I don't know if he's ever been on a winning team, but Marcus Morris has. He's been on some good winning teams, at least with the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? And some of that, what he learned from the Celtics, hopefully he's able to impart on some of the younger players. The one thing I'll say about Julius Randle, whether or not, you like his play style or something like that, he seems to be a young man that has his head on right as far as making life decisions. He's still a young man, so when you talk about him, he's not, he's a vet per se, but he's still a young man. It's like just turned 25 years old, so he's still a young man that's learning, but he has his head on straight life-wise. It seems, at least. But still, that's my question about Allan Houston, though. Is it more the same if you hire Allan Houston? If you promote Allan Houston, is it more the same? Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what's up, Sam? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for taking it, man. Shout out to all the Nothing But Knicks fans and everybody.
I appreciate you, my man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This is John Coleman.
Oh, what's up, John? What's going on? Appreciate you.
No, I have responded. You're right in bringing vets. I think we got too many vets that hasn't won nothing.
Okay.
These young players, they respect stars. So Vince Carter is a good example. He was a superstar, so they'll follow him. But when you talking about really Bobby Porter, you're not gonna really follow. Yeah, they need to teach him how to exercise, how to get your rest, how to eat, those parts. But none of them have that superstar, you know what I'm saying, talent or record where the young players be willing to really follow. That's what I said when they say there ain't no champs. Bring in the champs. When they brought in, they had Mark Jackson, they brought in Steve Kerr. He had that championship background. It's a difference. When you can say, I played with Mike, I hit a shot, I did this, opposed to you ain't did nothing. These kids are paying attention. They want LeBron. You know what I'm saying?
But if you can't get one of those guys, then what do you do? Because like I said, Julius Randle's not, he's a vet because he's been in the league for a while, but he's still only 25 years old. Bobby Portis, too, I think is still only 25 years old. These guys are young. I mean, our oldest vet, who's our oldest player on the team? Marcus Morris? No. Wayne Ellington? I mean, I get what you're saying, though, right? I understand what you're saying about those guys, having those guys like that. I would tend to say Marcus Morris is maybe, he hasn't been to the chip. He hasn't won a championship, but he's been on some good teams, and he's got he's not a superstar, but he's going to get respect to those young guys. They're going to respect them.
Now, he was a good signing because he brings that courage, like you said, that winning tradition with Boston, and he stand up. He teach them that part. But the other players, like you just named, we ain't need them. And as far as firing Perry, I don't think so. His drafting impeccable. Nobody can say anything about the draft picks. You know what I'm saying? No. The one problem they messed up with, they got too many guards, which stunted Kevin Knox's growth. So get them vets out of there. Kevin, RJ, Mitch. Look at Trae. He's gone now. We're here. We don't see him no more. Stick with the young nucleus. Be patient. Develop them. You're a coach. You know you got to develop them. You take their talents that they bring to the league, and you help develop them. You teach them. Like right now, they should be focused on free throw shooting. Everybody. Sorry, Fizz, you had to go because you didn't get the job done. You really can't blame Nick Management because he had enough time. He started out the gate wrong.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with you on Coach Fizdale. But I think part of developing, because look, I coach a girls team, high school team, and we have some young players on the team that are going to be our future, right? But right now, they got to learn. They got a lot to learn about the game. But we have some older players that keep us competitive, and we can get those young players and fit them in where they get in. And then they learn, they learn certain parts of the game. Now we have one young player, she's a freshman, and she's really good. She's one of our top 3 players. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So obviously
Yeah.
she plays, you know, our games are 32 minutes long. She plays just about the entire game, along with a couple other
Okay.
players played about the entire game. You know what I'm saying? But there's some other players that they got to learn the game. Yeah, we got to develop them, but we do a lot of development in practice and practice and practice. In the
Right.
game, it's kind of, they're going to play, but they kind of, you know, some of them, they get in where they fit in. You know, if they're having a really good game, they stay. If not, they don't. But they're developing and they're learning and they're learning about the game, and we see them grow that way. But
Yeah,
our
number-
older players
oh,
are
go
helping
ahead,
us to making sure that we stay competitive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Obviously,
Two other
with the
quick
Knicks.
things. Can I say? I want to say this real quick. With any player, like they always teach, there's no iron team. I disagree. I fully believe that the iron team is I must develop myself on my own to the best of my ability. So when I do join the team, I enhance what they are. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, please stop making these Knicks players, these crazy Knicks praise. I know we got to do it for talk. No, don't give up. Don't get nothing. We got too many guards now. So if they're going to talk about trade for anything, please trade for defense and height. Please, that's all I ask. Thank you, son.
All right. Appreciate you, John. Have a good one, man.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I still haven't heard anybody, you know, kind of answer me. Maybe I've seen a few things in the chat about Allan Houston and whether or not he would just kind of be an extension of what we've already been doing. Oh, yeah, and Taj Gibson, yeah, he is our oldest player. And Taj Gibson is an excellent mentor because he's been there. You know what I'm saying? He's been there. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals a few times. You know, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks, they beat the Atlanta Hawks tonight. I know we've been talking about a lot of things besides the game, but, you know, it was a great win for the Knicks. Glad that, you know, we could get this kind of a win. We needed it. We needed this kind of a win for the psyche, for the soul. You know, they got it. Hopefully we can take this confidence into the next game, which is Miami. Playing the Miami Heat is going to be different, ladies and gentlemen. Right? The Miami Heat is a good basketball team. They're a very good basketball team. Right now, if you look at the standings, the Miami Heat, they're 19-8. All right? They're 19-8. I think they are fourth in the Eastern Conference right now. Yep, they're fourth in the Eastern Conference behind the Boston Celtics. Let's take a look at the Eastern Conference right now and see what we're looking at. Now, let's not get too excited and get crazy out the way, ladies and gentlemen, and start talking about playoffs and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But let's take a look at the standings, the NBA standings. So the Eastern Conference right now, you see Milwaukee is number one in the Eastern Conference. They're 24-4. Philadelphia is 20-8. The Boston Celtics, they're 17-7. The Miami Heat is 19-8. The Raptors, they're 18-8. The Indiana Pacers are 19-9. And the Brooklyn Nets finally are starting to put some things together. They're 15-12. The Orlando Magic they're 12-15. That's the top 8 teams in the Eastern Conference. You got the Charlotte Hornets, ladies and gentlemen. They're 13-17. You see the rest of it. And the Knicks are right here, 13th in the Eastern Conference. They're 7-21. And if you're talking about that 8th seed, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks are 5.5 games out of the 8th seed. Is it impossible for them to make a run? No, but it's not something that I'm really looking at right now. Okay? Right now, I'm just kind of want to see the Knicks play and get better and win games. That's all I want to focus on. In the Western Conference, the Los Angeles Lakers, man, the Lakers are really, really good. I didn't expect them to be this good. I ain't going to lie to you. I didn't expect them to be as good as they are. They still got the entire season to go through, but I did not expect them to be this good, and they're good. They're 24-4. All right, the Los Angeles Clippers, they're 20-8. That's the team who I had coming out of the West. We'll see. We'll see. Dallas Mavericks, they're 18-8. I didn't expect them to be this good, but they're good. Denver Nuggets, 17-8. Houston Rockets, they're 18-9. And Utah Jazz are 16-11. The 7th seed, Oklahoma City Thunder, they're 12-14. And the Kings are 12-15. And listen, everyone talking about Chris Paul being traded. Oklahoma City, they may not. Right now, they're in the playoff mix. They may not. even be thinking about wanting to trade Chris Paul right now. Because guess what? They probably have the same idea. Let's stay competitive. Let's be competitive. And then see if we can find a way to bring in a free agent. Chris Paul, who knows? But right now, they're 7th in the West. Will it stay that way? We'll see. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. The Sacramento Kings, they're in the playoffs right now in the Western Conference. They're 12-15. Phoenix Suns are 11-15. Portland Trailblazers, they're 11-16. We'll see if they make, everyone expected the Trailblazers to be in the playoffs out west. We'll see if they find a way to make some kind of a run. But anyway, you guys see the rest of the standings. You see the rest of the standings and what it looks like. Everyone always talks about the Western Conference, the Eastern Conference. If you look at the Eastern Conference, man, the Orlando Magic are 12-15. They're in the 8th seed. You look at the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're 12-14. They're in the 7th seed. There you got 2 teams below 500 who are in the playoffs in the Western Conference. So all let's talk about the West and the East. The East not being as good. Let me tell you, I'll say this. The top 4 of the Western Conference are probably way better than, the Eastern Conference. But hey, the Milwaukee Bucks, they just got finished winning 18 in a row. So, but anyway, that's where it is. And the Miami Heat, ladies and gentlemen, they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Right? They just lost a game, so they're on a 1-game losing streak. They lost to the Memphis Grizzlies 118-111. The Miami Heat, they average 112.2 points per game. Right? They give up 107.3 points per game. They're a good basketball team, folks. And it's not going to be, this is going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. They're 13-2 in the Eastern Conference, 19-8 overall. So we'll see if the Knicks are going to be able to deal with the Miami Heat. They're going to have some time to rest. They don't play again until Friday. The Knicks don't, so they have a little bit of a break. Miami, they play Wednesday night versus the 76ers. So let's hope that the Knicks don't come in and have rust and got to knock some rust off. At least that's my hope, that they don't have to come in and knock any kind of rust off. So we'll see if the Knicks, can compete and can. That'd be a really good win if they can pull off a win against the Miami Heat. And if they can pull off the win, I'm gonna tell you what, if the Knicks can pull off a win against the Miami Heat, Knicks fans are gonna go crazy. You already know. You don't even have to ask the question. You already know. If they can pull off a win versus the Miami Heat, Knicks fans are gonna lose. They're gonna lose their mind. And we already got some people talking about playoffs right now. Gonna be more people talking about playoffs. Trying to push the Knicks into that playoff stuff right now. But, like I said, I'm taking it a game at a time, ladies and gentlemen. Taking it a game at a time. I want to know what you think, man. Do you think we can beat the Miami Heat? Can we pull off a nice win? Frank White says the Knicks have a chance against the Heat. We'll see. Can the Knicks pull off a nice win against the Miami Heat? That would be a really, really good win if we can do that. Get us a win against a winning team, a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference, and then take it from there. I want to get to the guys in the video chat, man. I know you guys are here. You guys have been having the conversations and everything. I'm going to get back to you guys right now. But obviously there was a lot of people wanting to get some phone calls in, so I had to make sure I got to phone calls and whatnot. All right. Guillermo, I'm going to come to you first. All right, I want to talk to you about the Miami Heat. A couple of questions I want to ask you about before we talk about the Miami Heat, but I want to get to the Miami Heat. All right. Guillermo, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
All right, let me ask you this quickly.
Yes, sir.
If the Knicks promote Allan Houston, because there's some people in the YouTube chat talking about Allan Houston, is it going to be a lot of the same? We're doing the same thing?
Yes.
That's how I feel. I think it's the same thing.
The Knicks, this is what Dolan needs to do, because he got embarrassed by that article by Ramona Shelburne. He got embarrassed by the fact that there was more to the Hill KP thing than he was led on to believe from Mills or whatnot. Right now, again, like I said, he has to build credibility. I can't talk. And the whole Steve Mills things represented, even though I think Allan Houston is more level-headed and more, sane in the head than Mills. Him hiring a guy that really doesn't have experience and is just kind of like the inside guy because he's been with the organization represents more the same, man. And at this point, we need, like you said, we could have gone after, we could have had Dave Griffin in here, and things like that. When you need to bring in basketball guys who can then bring in basketball people, the right coaches. There's a system, there's a culture that they know. There's a playbook that they've gone by that they've had before. That's what Dolan needs to bring in. No more the Allan Houston, no more the Steve Mills, no more assistant to the assistant of the assistant to the GM. None of that stuff, man. I know you Masai Ujiri might be it might be a far-fetched idea. If you could get it, that's great. That's perfect. If not, get proper basketball people in here. Let them come in with the proper system, the proper culture, whatever. Let them come and assess this team. And let them build and rebuild this team as they want. But to bring in an Allan Houston guy, we don't need that, because again, you're hiring a guy who doesn't really have experience like that. So what is he going to be leaning on? And Dolan, if you want to be hands on, then you can't leave the guy in the dust. So just don't bring in Allan Houston. No, he's just going to represent. He's not Mills, because Mills is stupid. But don't bring
right.
in
But it represents more the same stuff. Like, okay, I got somebody that was going to be there. Yeah, it represents more the same stuff to me. Not that Allan Houston's done anything wrong.
No, but what has he done that was so monumental? Like, is he, what's his he hasn't drafted anybody. And I understand, obviously he hasn't been in that position, but again, he's only with this position with the Knicks because, let's be honest, because of his name. I don't remember Allan Houston with like the Denver Nuggets or the Toronto Raptors. I don't remember in college doing, structural things with teams where it's like, oh, I saw him build something. I saw him draft well. I saw him put this exec, this scouting department and this analytics department together. And this team went from, 30 games below 500 to 10 games above 500 next, and you see a progress. So no, the only reason why Allan Houston has his title now is because, again, where he's at. So it's an inflated status right now for Allan Houston. And no offense, Allan Houston is one of my favorite players growing up, but again, one of my favorite players doesn't mean he's going to be a great GM or a good exec. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm cool with him.
And look, he's working, he's trying to work his way up to become that. He's had he's been the GM for the Westchester Knicks. I think the next step would be,
I would actually tell him to go to college, Sim. I sorry to cut you off. If I was Dolan, right? I would actually say, I like you as a person, blah blah, but I want you to get that, because if I give you this GM job, because look what happened when Trajan Langdon, the kid from Duke. That guy has, I wouldn't say he's ready yet, but he's been with, I don't know how many teams. So he's building experience. So I would say with a guy like Allan Houston, I would say, hey, go to college or go to another team and work your way up. Work your way up with the scouting, work your way up slowly. So for one, when you come back in, there's credibility to your name. I know I see a path with you. You have some, there's something that I say, all right, I know that Allan Houston likes this and that. We could work with this. And then you could bring your own department. And you also bring in other NBA people, because the Knicks need to get out of this idea of just staying within the Knicks. Like Allan Houston,
exactly, right? You got to bring
good
an
guy.
outside
He could probably
eyes.
go out and branch out and bring in other talent, executive talent from other places. That young guys who are yearning to be a part of. Hey, we the analytics guy. Hey, we the scouting guy. We're the whatever, the player personnel type of people. Build those relationships. Go out, branch out, and then come back to the Knicks. Like I don't know why. That's how
you got to have. I don't like if the Knicks were a really good organization, right? And Allan Houston was doing the same thing that he did. They were a really good organization. Then I could say, okay, I understand why you promote him, because he's coming up in a good organization with a good culture and that kind of stuff. But when you're not in a good organization, where is he learning the skills to do the job well when you're not in a good organization? If the Knicks were like the Spurs, if the Knicks were the Spurs and Allan Houston did the same exact thing he's doing now, I would get it, because then you could look and say, you know what? Maybe he's been in meetings. Maybe he's been part of this, part of that, and people recognize, certain things that he could do. They gave him duties, and say, here, you manage this part, you manage that part, or whatever it is. But the Knicks aren't that kind of an organization. So to say that you're building your own, it's not good when you're doing it within the Knicks organization, because you haven't developed that kind of a culture where you have a good front office. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got to have outside. When you're an organization like the Knicks, you need outside guys who haven't been tainted by anything that's going on inside the organization, inside the front office, to come in and use their outside experience and try to bring it to the Knicks. That's what I think. And it's nothing against Allan Houston. I just, think that's where they've got to go if they're gonna make those changes. And unfortunately, I think it's possible that Mike Miller, if a change does come, could be a casualty of it. Because someone comes in, they're gonna want their own coaches. But all right, so let's talk about the Heat. The Heat. Listen, a lot of people, man, before the season started, every time I would talk about who's going to be in the playoffs in the East, I would mention the Miami Heat. And a lot of people kept asking me, why do you keep saying the Miami Heat? Right? They kept asking me, why do you keep saying the Heat? Why do you think the Heat's going to be so good? Well, guess what? The Heat are really, really good right now. Will it last the entire season? I don't know. But the Heat, at the moment, are 19-8 in their fourth in the Eastern Conference. They're a good team. What do you think?
I mean, when the things that we've talked about, culture, coaching, when your front office is straight from head to toe, man, and you could just bring in one superstar, whatever you want to call Jimmy Butler. You look at their team, Sim. Like, would you look at this team if I said take out Jimmy Butler? Right, you would never say that guys like Kendrick Nunn, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and those are solid players. I'm not taking anything away from any of their players, but you would never look at that team and say, yeah, that team could challenge for it. Like, they could probably challenge somewhere in the East in terms of like being top 4, maybe possibly on the East right now. I'm not saying that they're first in the Southeast Division, 19-8. I don't think they're gonna get into, but they have so many young players. And they're developing. Like, Jimmy Butler went to the right team. He went to a team full of snowflakes on the Timberwolves, a bunch of young snowflakes, to a bunch of young, hungry kids. And maybe, he learned something from Timberwolves. But, Jimmy Butler, and I know people are going to kill me for this. Actually, I really don't give a damn. Jimmy Butler, his attitude is what I wish Randle had. In terms of, I'm coming in as the veteran guy, the so-called high-priced guy, but I'm here to try to help make you guys better as well and lead. Like, it's not about me just getting stats and putting numbers. I could do that in my sleep. And even, Jimmy Butler's not the greatest scorer, but he's a consummate scorer. But he has those guys. It's not just him. It's Riley, is a coaching, perfect, good system. Condition is tip-top. Defense is always But Jimmy Butler came in, and he's a plus modifier for those guys, man. Like, damn, like, you see the highlights, you see who they're beating, and you're just like, you wish the Knicks were at that level. A bunch of young kids that you would just write off. Kendrick Nunn, I think, was undrafted. Tyler Hero, people could sit back here with, freaking 2020 vision. Oh, yeah, I thought Tyler Hero was going to be. Stop it. No one thought Tyler Hero was going to be as good, but golly, Sim, they are humming right now, man. Like, Jimmy Butler, 21 points, 24 PER. Freaking Bam Adebayo, 20 PER, 15.2 points a game. I mean, like, that team, man. Even Myers Leonard, the guy I wanted, he's not even doing. He's only averaging like 5.7 points. But they're solid as hell, Sim.
Yeah, they're solid, man.
That's a team I wish we had, man.
They're solid.
But first of all, someone said. This is how. No offense to your show, and you got idiots in the chat. So someone said Jimmy Butler. That I said no to Jimmy Butler. I did say no to Jimmy Butler. All I'm saying is that what Jimmy Butler is in terms of his attitude and how he's getting guys to play around him is what I wish free agents like Randle have. Did I want Jimmy Butler to pay him that much money? No. Do I want Jimmy Butler now to pay him that much money? No. So I'm not sitting here saying I wanted Jimmy Butler. I'm not sitting here trying to change my decision. I still don't want Jimmy Butler because I don't think he's the right guy for this team right now, especially a team that's in turmoil. So please listen. The Heat have a great system from Pat Riley to the owner, Pat Riley. owner, then Pat Riley down. Perfect system. Even when the times they didn't have anybody, they had defense. They were, I think, last year last year, the year before that, they were challenging for the 8 seed until like the last week or so, last day or so, last week or so. That's a team that really had nothing if you looked at them. So that means that the coaching was tip top, everything was tip top. It was just the talent, and that's the issue with the Knicks. When I said last year or seasons ago, it was last year, or even last year, when I said with Fizdale, the issue is that you have to have those things intact, the coaching, the culture, everything, so that when the players come in, it's easier to assess, all right, this guy doesn't fit us, we get this guy. It makes your scouting better, easier. It makes your player development a lot easier. It makes everything a lot easier when you're from top down, the hierarchy is straight. So right now we're running into what the bizarro Knicks, like the Knicks that I wish we had in terms of this young team, and a veteran, you comes in, whatever. That's the type of team I had. A young team where it's like on any given night they could beat the biggest teams because the coaching's tip top, conditions tip top, defense is good, everything is good, and then they sprinkle in the talent. It comes a lot more easier. Tyler Hero, I don't think Tyler Hero would kill anybody one-on-one, but because of the system and how guys play around him, and there's a not perfect, but there's a good synergy with those guys. So yeah, Jimmy Butler, has a great mentality. I'll give that to you. I don't think he's right. Like I said with Morris. Morris is the right guy for the Knicks at the wrong time. Jimmy Butler with that money would have been the right guy for the Knicks at the wrong time. And I did not want that, especially I didn't trust Fizdale. I didn't trust the front office. Things were in disarray, and I didn't want Jimmy Butler coming here and just playing for himself. But he's in the perfect situation where even with his contract, there's a hierarchy. He still has to answer to certain guys. He has to answer to a certain culture, and he can't supersede that regardless of the fact that he's getting paid this amount of money. Because remember, he's friends with Dwayne Wade, who has, he's basically the president, you could say, of the Heat, even though he's not on the team anymore. You have guys like Riley. They gave you this max contract or whatever they gave him, the 4 years, whatever it was. They gave you this big contract, but you still have to play within a culture and a system. That's what I want the Knicks to have. When we have that intact, a guy like Julius Randle, I'm not just picking him, any big free agent, they can't come in here and say, I'm only playing for myself. I'm only playing for my numbers. I'm here to do art like Tyson Chandler. I'm just joking on Tyson Chandler. I'm here to do my own thing. I don't really care about the team or whatever. I'm just here to do my own thing. They can't do that because the coach is going to kick you out or basically embarrass you. So I salute the Heat, man, because you look at them, they're a model of success year in, year out, man. And it's because of from top down, man.
They are. Do you think we'll be able to compete with them on Friday?
We play there, right?
I think we're home. Let me look. I think we play home. I think we're home.
Hold on, let me see. Oh, we play Friday. Yeah, they're here. They're here on Friday.
They're here. Yeah.
I mean, I say this, Tim. Our home is tough because look, we have a new coach who's getting these guys to play a little bit better. But the Garden is not a fortress yet. Like it's not like I don't know what the splits are, but I remember earlier in the season when Fizdale was here. I can't remember if it was like Wally or Mike Breen, but they were pointing out how the Knicks look a lot more comfortable on the road than they do at home. And obviously, we really had like 2-3 wins at the time, so it didn't really matter. But the way we were playing away at certain games, like the Sixers, the Nets, that first game, we played teams a lot more competitive than we did at home. So I'm not again, you like doing this, Sim. I'm not putting anything. Last time I said this, we won, so I'm not putting anything on the Knicks.
No. The game is in Miami. In Miami Friday.
It says Friday the 20th. It says oh, you're right. It says versus. It says versus New York. My bad. So it's in Miami. Oh, so no, I don't think we're winning. My bad. But it's tough, man, because look, Miami, man, like that team, that's a well-oiled machine, man. Like, look, we can't get too high. Not saying you guys, I'm not even saying anybody in the chat. It's just that I'm saying we, as a Knicks fan, a fandom, we can't get too excited from today's game because the Miami Heat, they're 19-10 with a bunch of guys that, let's be honest, at the beginning of the season, outside of Jimmy Butler, did you think that Kendrick Nunn was going to be this type of player? Did you think Bam Adebayo
you know what?
Solid
that guy
was going to be this
Nunn,
good?
Man, I mean, no. I did think that they were going to be a good team. I thought that they were going to be in the playoffs.
Right. I thought there was going to be like a 6, maybe 6, 7 type of seed. But they probably, if they run into, say, the Bucks, they get knocked out. They run into like a tip top team. Maybe if they played like the Sixers, maybe they can sneak a series, maybe. But it's like you look at this team and they're playing better than expectations, man. Like I don't think we're gonna win.
We'll see. The only thing I say, I don't know. I haven't really watched them play, so I can't say anything. You just never know how matchups work sometimes, right? You would look at the Dallas Mavericks right now and say, nah, the Knicks they wouldn't have beaten them twice. You just never know how matchups and things like that work. I haven't looked at or watched the Miami Heat play at all, so I don't know. But Mark, what you think, man?
Listen, when it comes to Miami, you have to match their intensity. If you don't match their intensity, they're gonna bully you, and they're just gonna score on you. So the Knicks don't match their intensity offensively and defensively, especially defensively, because when it comes to knowing where to be on defense, rotations, they are stifling, man. I watched them win against the Lakers. They were stifling defensively, but they just didn't have nobody to stop Anthony Davis that game. But when it comes to a team like us and a team like them defensively, bro, we're gonna look. Our offense better be moving that night. It has to be moving, because if we play a lot of ISO, a lot of the ball sticking to players, yeah, that's what they're gonna take advantage of us, because Miami is really, really good. They're just disciplined in everything they do, offensively and defensively. And again, Jimmy Butler temperament, man. He's in the right spot with the right players, the right organization that ain't cupcakes, and players that he could trust. Because if you watch him, he's deferring to these young guys. He's not even dominating the ball, as most people will say that he does, but he's deferring to these young thoroughbreds, and they're following his lead and his command, man. It's crazy to see. All I just say that, his contract is good for what Miami is, not for the Knicks, because we're in the bottom totem pole. Like we're just beneath the dungeon. So paying a player like that would have been a waste of money, man. He just came here and just lived in New York, messed with women, club in One Oak, hit starlets, and getting paid $150 million. And trust me, getting paid in New York like that is just, you will get lost in the sauce, man. No matter how many good morals you got, getting paid in New York, man, you can get lost, man. So I just say, if the Knicks just play with the intensity that we've been playing with, the level of defense that we play at times with against Miami, we have a chance, because again, I thought we didn't have a chance against Denver, and Denver is a good defensive team. It's not a good offensive team.
Denver is number 2 in the league.
So
Denver is the second best defensive team in the league right now. Miami's
defense,
like,
I think.
What'd you say?
I think they're top 5 in defense.
Yeah, they're number 2.
Oh, and a lot of that has to do with Jokic. If you look at how they construct their defense, because I remember in the game when we was in the fourth quarter, if you watch a lot of the last minutes in the fourth quarter, Nurkic was hedging so hard that it broke a lot of our offensive sets and stuff like that. So if we have to play fast against Miami, because they like to bog down people's offense. We have to play fast, and we have to play with pace and get more possessions. That's important for this Knicks team. When the Knicks get more possessions on offense, you'll have a chance to win the game against defense like this. Because Miami is good, man. They're really good.
Miami right now, they shoot 47% from the field. They shoot 38% from 3.
They execute. They don't waste no possessions.
They're gonna be they're a tough team to compete against.
Sam, and I'm hearing that Drew Holiday might get traded there.
Yeah,
oh my God!
I was hearing about that, man. That'd be.
Oh my God!
Man,
and Bam Adebayo, he's playing like a upgrade Draymond Green. The way they're using him, and he's become a smart passer, not just a person that has the talent to pass. I mean, he's making reads. Like he's making reads when he gets the ball in the middle.
And
that's why they're shooting so good. because they get open shots and they execute. And man, it's crazy.
And
I
this
give
is
it up
the
to Jimmy Butler, man,
benefit.
because
This is the benefit of having a guy like Pat Riley up there. One, like you look at Pat Riley and you think he's part of the mob, so you like, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with him too much.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? You're not messing with Pat Riley too much. But Pat Riley, he's got, this is what we do, and I don't care who you are. You could be LeBron James. You are not going to come in and You are not gonna come and break what we do.
No,
you know what I'm saying? And
no.
you better play this way. You better play like this. You better play like that. Because if not, you know what I'm saying? And then he knows how to go out and get deals done.
And the thing too, that's who Dolan should have went years before to go after. Cause
you know how everything went down back in the day.
I know, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You know how everything went down back in the day.
You know what too, Sim too? You know who I thought would have been very, very great for us too? And you just watch how he carried himself in his nonchalant ways. I think Griffin would have been great. I think Griffin would have been great if we could have had him. Because if you watch how he conduct himself, it's either you're in or you're out. We need someone in that. Because I heard you talking about the Allan Houston thing. No, I don't want nobody. Listen. The next person who you give this job to, it has to be the last. It has to be the last. Because we can't keep doing this nonsense. We can't be flipping and flopping. We need a product on this floor so we can come on this show and really feel happy and have happy thoughts. I'm tired. I am tired of coming and having to see my young players struggle and not wanting to play for the Knicks, man. How do you not want to play for this hardwood? How, like, just going on that hardwood, Sim, how do you not want to play on it?
I feel you.
Listen, man, the next person, I don't want no brass I don't want nobody else. I want everybody gone. Go get someone that could stand on their 2 feet and make sure that no one's above this organization. Because I said it, Sim, I said it to you years ago. Bringing free agents to New York is different when you're bringing free agents to other places. Because when you're in New York, and because we're so inept, players that come here is only going to come here for the check. Because you brought something out today, and Mike Breen was talking about it, and I don't know if y'all really comprehend what Mike Breen said in the telecast. When Fizdale got fired, and he went and told Julius Randle, listen to Mike Miller, because he has the right system. I never heard anything like that where a coach has been outed the way he got outed and went to one Pacific player and told him that. That's kind of telling to me, because that's telling me that you was probably one of what I was saying, that there's politics in the locker room between Randle and the front office. For him to go to Randle after he got fired and out the way he got outed and tell him, listen to Mike Miller because he's a good person and he has the right system. I never heard anything like that in my life in a professional sport. In a professional sport. That was telling, and Mike Breen repeated it twice. Twice.
I mean that was big of obviously bigger of Coach Fizdale.
But why would if you get fired from a job, right? Especially the way he got fired, a coach is not even going to LeBron James and telling him, yo, listen to Ty Lue because he's a good coach. That ain't happening.
Well, so I mean, the thing with Julius Randle is this: Coach Fizdale and Julius Randle have, they got a really good relationship, beyond basketball. So he wants him to be, he wants him to do the best. You know what I'm saying, that he can do. So he's probably like, Coach Fizdale's wife and Julius Randle's wife, They really got along. They did a lot of things outside of basketball together and stuff like that. So I think it really has to do with that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Hey, Mark,
Okay.
I'm about to get up out of here, man, because
All right.
it's like 1:07, man. I'm about to
Oh,
jump up out
yo,
of here.
sometimes, yo, I'll be saying like, damn, it's 1 o'clock already.
Yeah, it's
like,
1
I'll
o'clock,
be
man.
up
It's
there.
1 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to get up out of here. All
All
right,
right, Brody.
I'm gonna be back on. I'm gonna be back on Thursday at 2 p.m. All right, Thursday at 2 p.m. as we do a game preview of the Knicks and the Miami Heat. If I get a chance, I might do a little something tomorrow. We'll see what it is. I don't know. I gotta check out my schedule and stuff like that. Hopefully, my daughter she's going to take her driving test tomorrow. So, of course, I gotta, make sure things go well there. So we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? If you get the notification, then you know I'll be on. But I'll definitely be on Thursday at 2 p.m. so that we can, do this game preview of the Knicks and the Miami Heat. If couple of announcements, if you want to join me on Discord, you can join me on Discord. All right. We got a group there that talks. You guys can, I'm putting the link in the chat right now. You guys can click this link and join up there. You know what I'm saying? So you can join in on the conversation there. I told you this before. I'm going to tell you again. January 6th, Knicks Weekly, exclusively on Sportscaster. It's going to be a fun show, man. And so I want all you guys to be there, to be exclusively on Sportscaster beginning January the 6th, which is a Monday. And I'll be doing it every Monday. Okay? It's on Sportscaster. I'm putting the link in the chat right now. Knicks Weekly, beginning January 6th, exclusively to Sportscaster. All right, so join up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to get up out of here. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. All right, so go ahead and do that now. Also, if you use YouTube a lot, you know that there's stories. And, I just got my stories available, so I'm beginning to post stuff in the stories. So make sure you check that out as well. Right now, there's one up there. I got one story up there, and it's basically asking, what kind of moves would you make now that trade season is here? And I'll be responding to some of those as well. All right, so make sure you check out those stories. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys definitely on Thursday, maybe beforehand. And have a good rest of your week, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful, be easy. Enjoy this Knicks win we got from now until Friday to enjoy the win. All right? I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful.